It's time to get locked in, ladies and gentlemen, because you are now tuned into the Screaming Idiots Show. Welcome to the Metal Brotherhood.
No discipline for the wicked. No medicine.
Hey, yo, welcome back to the show. It is almost said Thursday, bro. Tuesday, November 21st. Happy early Thanksgiving to everybody. Well, why would I say that when this episode's not going to come out till like January 4th?
Yeah,
Bad job out of me. Bad job out of me. So, I hope everyone has had a wonderful holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Hope you all had a blessed holiday. And special shout out to all my friends, family, loved ones. Appreciate all of you guys. I know everyone sitting here on this couch feels the same. So, as always, we hope you guys have enjoyed this season so far. We are on the next to last episode of season 6. Big things coming. Stay tuned, and the season finale will fill you guys in on all that. As always, please give all of our socials a follow at TSIS Podcast, or just search the Screaming Idiot Show, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You know the deal. Give us a follow. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to all of the listeners, subscribers that have hung with us for all this time. Continue to help us grow this platform. As always, if you want merch, please reach out to us on any of our social platforms. We'll be sure to hook you up.
That needs to be reordered very soon.
Yeah, well, hopefully by the time people actually listen to this, hopefully by the time people actually listen to this, we have reordered merch.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a good problem to have.
The Patreon subscribers are listening to this on like December 5th, and they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I need a shirt, bro." And we're like, "Oh, fuck." So, want to welcome in a very special guest, Miss Shyann Matthews. She is a local girl that is big California living and is back visiting family for the holidays. So, want to welcome her in. Shyann, thank you for giving us some of your time and coming and spend some time with our crazy asses.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's super funny story. So, the reason Cheyenne's sitting here today is we met in the gym and just, you kind of struck up a conversation with me about, just music and certain things like that. And we just talked for a minute. And I was like, in the back of my head, I'm going, hey, this gal would be a pretty damn good guest to have on the pod. She's kind of done some big things with music and different things like that. And we ended up working it out. So glad we were able to get that handled. So, Shyann, just for the listeners, will you just give us a little bit of background on, your life and where you started and how you got to where you are today? And we'll just go from there. You can be as vague or descriptive as you want to be. It's up to you.
I'm very descriptive.
Okay,
I'm a writer, so let's go. You guys are writers.
Oh, we get it. Let's go.
I wouldn't consider myself a writer, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You're a rider, all right. But yeah, go ahead.
Damn!
OnlyFans, TSIS. Shit, I'm the one that did it. Go ahead.
Just plug my own OnlyFans.
Sorry, Shyann. You'll get a hang of all the random ass interruptions. So it's all good.
We will sing Creed out of nowhere.
Okay.
If I don't know if you're
Hello, my friend, we meet again. It's been a while. Where do we begin?
I remember.
I wish I knew the song. I don't know.
That's fine. Yeah, don't feed into our bullshit.
You gotta get the fuck out if you don't know.
Teach me. No.
Oh, shit.
All right, we'll be back after this short break. we're gonna listen to some Creed and cry together.
So. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll just get into my whole life story, testimony. Okay.
Let's do it.
Cool.
So, in the beginning, there was man and woman. I'm kidding. All right, so
she got me. She fucking got me. I got it.
Okay, so when I was little, I was about 5 years old. I started saying. At the time, I didn't know I was prophesying. Or did you guys grow up Christian?
I did, yes. He did.
So you guys are aware. Plus, it's the Bible Belt, so I figure you guys, Ohio. So I was 5 years old, and I started telling my parents, I was like, I want to be a missionary. I want to move to California. And I was randomly just saying it. It's I had an inner knowing of it. And obviously, I was born in Hillsboro, a very small hick town,
Oh, yeah. We know.
Yeah.
Lived there for a little bit.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, a few years.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible, right?
It's so...
I don't remember.
I love Hillsboro, actually. I really like Hillsboro. Is that an unpopular opinion on this couch that I really like Hillsboro?
It's relaxing.
It's just quiet.
It's a small
okay.
town, much like Courthouse.
Yeah, it's just quiet,
but
bro.
You don't know as many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Less people hate me. I mean,
Exactly.
continue.
That's funny. That's why I love LA because it's like it's like a whirlpool and no one knows me. I'm like, yay! It's like freeing, but
That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I bet it would be. And I feel like LA is big enough. We had another guest on a couple seasons ago who was the former lead guitarist for the Black Veil Brides, really big metal band. His name is Chris Hollywood, funny enough, but lived in LA for a while. And it's almost like a secular thing, right? Like there's one city, but there's multiple different communities within this real big city. So I feel like you, and especially you being a non-native, I guess, to LA.
transplant.
A transplant. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I said non-native, like the long version of transplant.
I love that. Yeah.
You could go anywhere and no one would know you. Like you could completely vanish if you needed to.
I know. That's what I do.
Damn.
Not that she would ever have a need to vanish. I'm not saying she killed anybody. I mean, you killed anybody?
How do you know?
Are you a murderer?
I feel like I should know this. You know where I live now.
I'm safe,
Thank you
bro.
for trusting me.
I'm safe. I'm
I
safe.
didn't know you was a murderer before I invited you.
Shit kind of snuck up on me, man.
Too late.
So I'll get a
It's
knock
too
on the
late.
door
what-
later, and I'm going to see
I'm
a
part of the
fucking
Korean
gun.
mafia.
So you're the Korean
North Korean mafia.
That made me think of the fucking TikTok. Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why can't everyone be a smart like me?
You're good at that. You should do voiceover.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, you bastards.
Hey, maybe you could bring Rick and Morty back.
Morty,
Jesus.
Morty, I'm telling you, you little son of a bitch.
Why is he so good?
It's the bourbon.
It's no, no. I don't. I have always been able to do voices weirdly enough. So like anytime that I would play COD, like Call of Duty or something with all my buddies, and we would play against another team, and then when you're in the pregame lobby or the postgame lobby, you can talk to each other, and everybody's normally just talking mad shit. And I would always talk in Peter Griffin's voice from Family Guy, and everybody would think that I was using a soundboard. Because Lois, this is definitely not my Batman glass. And then when I would do it, they're like, "Oh, he's using a fucking soundboard. He's on YouTube." And then I would call them out by their gamer tag and be like, "Yeah, fuck your mom 247."
Oh,
And they'd be like, "Oh shit, bro, it's really him." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm him.
I'm him.
I will continue to be." Yellow rubies glistening like piss.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's. I don't know how I have been able to do certain voices, but I'm not terrible at it.
you can make like $300K off of doing one voiceover gig in 3 months.
My life's
Girl,
a
you need to
fucking
hook
joke.
me up with some shit because if Seth MacFarlane, listen, if Seth MacFarlane ever retires from doing Peter Griffin, or if Bill Fabernacki or whatever his name is retires from being Patrick off of SpongeBob.
I know.
That was my turn. Yeah. You let me sign me up. I'll do Patrick. Like I can do any of those. So 300K, I'm in. Sign me up.
I will actually send you over the voiceover agent that I know.
No shit.
Like, actually,
Let's go.
I'll
I'm
send
in.
all of them.
Let's go. Fuck it.
Dude,
And you
I
can
need the
do
money.
You could do it here in the studio too. You don't have to be in LA. You could just do it. Like you could
No
submit
shit.
online. That's how voiceover is. A lot of people are not
They do
even
it
in.
remotely?
Yes.
Well, I guess in a remote society, like post-COVID society,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything is remote,
Yeah.
really.
Right.
So
Well, you need somewhere to record it.
Yeah, and you guys have
And
a.
you
we
send
do
it.
have the space. We do have the space and the fucking expensive ass mics that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I interrupted your story with my ridiculous voices.
No, I'm enjoying
Go
it.
ahead.
It's fun.
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah.
You were on Hillsboro, wanting to move to California at a young age. All that.
Yeah. And so, I didn't grow up with my dad. I grew up with my mom kind of like half the time. I was with my grandma most of the time. And so I would always always praying. I had like inner knowing that God was real. I had a lot of spiritual experiences growing up. I was just like, I would see demons. Like my sister would have like out of body experiences. She's like 3. I'm like 5 years old. So like I grew up knowing about the spiritual realm. Like I was always very like sensitive to it, and I still am, of course, And so, but I didn't understand it. I was just like scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like why am I seeing that? Like, oh, I don't want to see it, And then I got a little older. I was like, I went to middle school. I was always focused on my grades. I started watching. I'm very raw, okay? So I started getting like addicted to porn at a very young age. So like I was always like very sexual growing up. Like no one knew because I was very quiet.
Sure.
You know? But like my mom's fine with me saying this. Like I'm, very open again.
And you're an adult.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mom.
They can't love you,
Thanks,
Mom.
Mom.
Love you, Mom.
Hope you're
yeah.
not listening.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I hope you are. We
She
need more
probably
viewers.
ain't even heard of this. So,
Oh, no, I
it's
guarantee
fine.
she's never heard of it. But anyways.
Yeah. I'll show her, but.
I mean, Shaq.
No, I'm kidding. So I grew up in a very highly sexualized environment. My mother was a madam, so she would like pimp out women, so like I grew up like seeing her do certain things, and then I was just like, oh, okay, like that's normal, that's fine, and so like when I was like 15 years old, I started to realize like, okay, maybe like what I grew up with wasn't like the norm,
Yeah.
And at this time me and my father weren't talking. Like my whole life I always felt like he rejected me, because he was still in love with my mother. That, and then just a few other reasons which we haven't really like discussed yet because he's not comfortable. Sure. But we have a relationship now, but at the time we didn't, right? So I'm very grateful that like he's in my life now. My mom's back in my life.
Yeah.
So at this time,
Good for you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
So like from 13 to like 17 and a half, I lived with my grandmother. So I wasn't talking to my mom, wasn't talking to my dad. So during this time, I had my first boyfriend. And I was still very musical. Like, I always wanted to be a hip-hop dancer. Like, I was always like, okay, like I want to, like, my goal was I want to be famous. I want to live in LA. Like, that was my goal. I'm also part Korean. So, like, I grew up with K-pop. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard of
Oh, dude, K-pop goes so hard. And nobody wants to admit it. You're all fucking liars. K-pop's dope. Continue.
I ain't never fucking heard of this.
That's
I'll
normally
have
what
to
I
show
do.
you in a second.
That's normally what I do.
K-pop, is that like the artist or?
Korean
No,
pop.
no,
It's like
Korean
a
pop,
music
it's a
genre.
genre.
It's a
It
genre.
sounds like a candy I had when I was a kid or something.
Sounds like a drug I did in college.
Pop of K-pop.
What?
Fucked up on the pops.
Bro, you got Molly? Nah, I got K-pop, bro.
Who the fuck does coke anymore,
I
man?
don't Coke anymore.
Yeah,
God.
just do bourbon.
Now we're old and drink bourbon. We don't do fun things like K-pop
When you
anymore.
said bourbon, sounded really country.
Yeah, just do bourbon.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. Listen, this is we rail on ourselves all the time for our
I get
horrible
made fun of for
vocabulary
my
and our
accent all the time.
accents, and I
Which
have
I'm cool with.
my work wife, as she is known, is from Michigan, and she says things like grandma and grandpa and oot in the boot, and I'm like, will you shut the fuck up for like 2 seconds and stop talking, because your accent makes me want to cut myself. Okay? She's like, oh my god, I hate you so much, and I'm like, go fucking ice fishing or something.
Ice fishing.
I love her to death. She's such a great gal, but son of a bitch,
Shut the fuck up.
Stop talking. And she's like, well, you sound like you're from Leavenworth, like Pikeville, Kentucky. And I'm like, yeah, well, you sound like you're from Alberta, Canada. Take a lap, homie.
But like, don't you like Letterkenny?
Oh yeah, dude.
So how do
It's
you
Canadian.
watch Letterkenny, but you can't stand the
Okay,
accent?
so like a Michigan accent or a Wisconsin, their accents are different than Canadian. Like Canadian, like you know what
Right.
you're about to get. Michigan and Wisconsin and even Minnesota are like
They kind of like trick you
they're
into
like,
it.
I think Andy Biersack a Kodak in my ass crack. Like, why do you put so much emphasis on the ass?
Oh my god.
Talk normal. Stop doing what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image innocent. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. It's so bad. And they listen to me and they're like, dude, you sound like your IQ is 12 and you have 3 teeth. And I'm like, well, you're not far off.
Oh shoot.
IQ's 5, actually.
You're wrong on the teeth, but
5.5.
I got 6.5, damn.
you fuck your cousin, don't you?
No!
Well, just once, okay?
That's like Ohio is. Yeah, Ohio's like that.
Did you fuck your cousin. Listen, have you ever watched Game of Thrones? All right, they were fucking Jamie Lannister was screwing his sister. All right, it's not that bad.
Oh,
Oh,
good
his
God.
face.
It's not that bad. It was on HBO. You know
It was
what I
on
mean?
HBO.
Oh my
Shame.
gosh.
How many
Shame.
derails have we had?
We've had a lot of derails. I'm
Jeez.
Sorry.
First boyfriend.
Well, it's
I'm
been
gonna-
a,
I'm
hey,
gonna
we
clean
haven't
this up.
recorded an episode in like 2 weeks.
We haven't. Well, so
No,
we're off.
we're
Yeah,
We are
anxious.
Go
wound.
ham.
We
Go
are wound
ham.
the fuck
We're
up.
anxious.
So you were.
Anxious.
Yeah.
You were.
I'm ready.
Did you say go anxious?
No, I said I'm anxious. We're anxious.
You
It feels like we
Are
ain't
you
been
off
in
the
here.
perk or something?
Oh shoot.
It feels like we haven't been here in a month.
Oh, I did the Cody Brown again. God damn.
That laugh.
Again, I said I'm off the perk, bro. Anyways, first boyfriend,
It's
high
this fucking
school.
bourbon.
So,
It is a fucking bourbon.
Jesus.
yeah. So I was with him, and then I was with him for 4 years, and then after that relationship, it really changed me, and I was like,
Bad breakup?
well, I'm sorry, it sounds really dark, but like I'm healed from it now, but like he raped me, so that was my first time.
Oh, boy.
Shit.
It was like a funny podcast, but
No,
but I promise it's gonna be a
okay.
dark comedy at the end.
We
shit-
love
God.
dark comedy.
Okay.
No,
That's-
no.
okay.
It's, sorry that
Okay.
happened to you. I'm
Okay.
glad you healed from it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was so sincere. I love that. Okay.
I mean, I try to not be a piece of shit 90% of the time. I mean, I am a well-known dick, but like,
Thanks for not expecting very high of us,
yeah.
you know, like,
oh, geez,
but
she
it's,
saw through
it's
my
great.
ruse. Listen, I try to not be a bona fide piece of shit like 90% of the time. So, but yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
thank
horrible.
You.
That's,
I
I
appreciate.
laughed. Fuck. That's literally
No,
horrible.
Well, you're about to laugh in a second. So.
Okay. All right, tempo. I'm ready. Let me spit my chew out before I choke on it. Drink my
The chew-
bourbon.
I took chew like 4 times, but it was like it always made me like really like hyper. I was like anxious.
Hyper?
I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do something, and it was like in my
Are you
mouth.
sure it was chew or
Oh,
was it
it
Coke?
moved.
It was chew mixed
First
with
time I
Coke.
did it, I was like,
Oh, first time I did that, I had my pants around my ankles puking in the bowling room bathroom.
Yep. Yep.
That's a story for another day.
So I was with him, and after that happened, I felt like something like after that encounter, I felt like something entered me, like literally, like spiritually, and I felt like I just wanted to like have sex all the time, you know. And so I was like, this is the comical part. Usually, a girl or a guy would like not want to do it with that person. Well, I started kind of like raping him in a sense. This is
Okay.
kind of like a 360, you know?
So you had like that's a real thing. I
Yeah.
think it might have been on the Dr. Phil show. It's not like a Stockholm syndrome thing, right? It's like you're not sympathizing with your quote unquote abuser or whatever you want to call them, but you start to kind of take on that identity
Yeah.
and like, wow, that sucked. And I know it's cliche, but
Yeah.
there are people out there, men and women alike, that have the quote unquote rape fantasy, right? That's a real thing. And I'm certainly not gonna name names, but years and years ago, I dated someone that had that.
I developed that after
And
that. Yeah.
I was so uncomfortable with
Yeah.
that like I literally could not satisfy her because I'm like, I cannot do these things to you that you want me
It's
to do
messed
to
up.
you.
Yeah.
Because dude, I can't do that. Like I can't do that. But that is a very real thing.
Well, that's good that you're like that because there's a lot of people that
Like buy into
they
it.
can't
They're likely, yeah, let's do
finish
it.
unless.
They exactly
Oh.
they can't finish unless. Yeah,
Fuck.
and then it becomes a problem.
I know. It's an addiction. It's like I have to do it this way. Like,
Yeah, like I have to choke you with a belt or what?
Bro, that's
This is
crazy.
an X-rated podcast. Okay, what did we say a couple episodes ago? This is our podcast. Not your
I
podcast.
promise it gets more
If-
pure at the end.
Yeah. Cheyenne will
We
take
have
us home at the end, but
we
it's
have
gonna
to
be
go-
it's gonna be here.
It's gonna be
So
rough.
you kind of start to take on that not identity, but like that feeling of oh,
Like,
fuck,
it made me
like,
feel
I've got it.
empowered.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
in control.
Yeah. And then also it's like I found out, I mean, I didn't know at the time, but it was very like demonic what I was feeling because I was like, oh, like I feel, like I feel like I'm the boss. I'm going to do this. Like I call the
Power.
shots now,
Power.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like even if you're not Christian, like it's just like there's a lot of people in the world that want power, but I mean that's how the devil, like in the Bible, like that's how he fell because he thought he was more powerful than God. So it's just it all results in pride. you know. So then fast forward after this, I left him actually because I felt like it was weird. Like I just lost feelings for him because I wanted to have sex with more guys. So I was like, okay, like, and he didn't expect that. He thought he had me forever, you know. So like I left him, but also he said we weren't going to get married. So I was like, why try? So it was kind of mixture.
Term if that's not the goal? Yep.
Yeah, because so he was Korean. His mother was full Korean, and she was also like racist against me because I wasn't full. You know,
I've heard that they're if you're not pure whatever, they kind of get a little finicky about that.
So I knew he was like siding with her, so I was like, okay, like I'm gonna leave. So when I left, I started doing the party thing. I tried every drug. I had this.
Did you try the K-pop?
Yes.
Oh damn! I did the Joe Rogan like, hey Jamie, pull it up. Pull it up. Is the square? Is the little circle still have a square in it?
K-pop.
The number's going up.
Is the number going up? Okay, we're good.
I couldn't see
Fucking
it.
hell, Sue!
I
Gotta
couldn't-
hold your hand through a simple
I
process.
couldn't see it.
Good thing your ass looks fantastic in this jogger.
It always does.
It always
Did
does.
you
It
try?
always does.
Tyler said, "Did you try the K-pop?"
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and then her fucking ex-boyfriend's mom was like, "You can't do that.
No, literally.
Only full-blooded Koreans do K-pop." What's the Bobby Lee? Bobby Lee, where he's making fun of his dad. Grandma die. I'm sorry. That was terribly racist. Go ahead.
Honestly, I love racist jokes. I also took improv, which I'll get into that later.
Oh, let's
I took comedy,
fucking
so
good.
I like.
Were you in an improv group called the Wackadamia Nuts?
No.
That was a Family Guy reference. That was terrible. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't watch TV.
Neither
do
does
I.
he. It's all
Okay.
good.
Neither do
Yeah.
I. Oh, fuck.
I feel
She's
like my
fucking
life's
cool,
a movie.
dude.
So I
She's fucking cool.
It's
He
a
looked at
freaking
me, not
movie.
even the
Yeah.
camera. He was like, "She's fucking cool." She don't watch TV.
That's like,
I
no,
love
you're not
racist
bored.
jokes.
Oh my god.
It's messed up. Well, yeah. So then.
I think all things are good as long as we don't like drop any racial slurs. I think we're okay.
Yeah. I mean,
We've said on this podcast before, if words offend you or if jokes offend you, like this isn't the show for you. So
Yeah.
like, you're
No,
like,
I don't get offended.
we make fun of ourselves more than we make fun of anybody else.
Yeah.
Like we
No,
buy
I
into
do
the
that
dumb
with me, too.
redneck thing like
Yeah.
way more. Like especially me. Like this is the like one of the few times I'm not wearing camo. Like normally I'm dressed like the straight up like redneck bum ass.
It's like my dad.
yes. Hey, well, yeah.
I can attest to that. I know him.
Yeah.
Rad cowboy. Yeah.
So yeah, well, no, we make it. If you can't laugh at yourself, then you have no right to laugh at anybody else. And I laugh
Yeah.
at myself more than anybody. So
yeah.
But yeah.
I love racist jokes.
Oh, shit.
she leaned in. She leaned in.
had
And
to
listen,
make sure.
she's Korean. She can say
Emphasis.
that. So fuck you. Okay. She's Korean. She can say that. She loves racist jokes, and you can't do a fucking thing about
I love it.
So you wanted to have sex with more guys. All right, we're
That sounds so
comfortable
weird
enough.
because I'm
We're
celibate
comfortable
now,
enough.
so
I'm
it
gonna-
sounds weird.
I'm going to start making fun of you. We're comfortable enough now.
I love it. I love it. Let's get comfortable. So I did.
So I did.
I wish it was that easy for me. You know, like, I want to sleep with more women.
Yeah,
That's-
for real. What the
So I
fuck?
did.
Yeah, what the
It
fuck?
is. It is like anyone
Not
can get
with
anybody.
good ones.
What?
Not with.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I guess
It's,
I wasn't
it
very.
is way easier for women than it is for men. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
I have
be
to.
honest.
I
I
have
don't know.
to.
Oh, girls nowadays, I don't know.
Oh, they're
It's
pretty
like an
nasty.
8-step program
Girls
I have to
nowadays, you
subscribe
don't fucking
to.
know if the girls or not.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful.
Thank you.
Mr. Woody, time for a diggling tuck tuck.
Oh, yeah.
Hooked on smacking Thai lady boys. Like, whoa, bro.
And they look better than like
Most girls.
I know.
What the fuck? Like, you see some little titty woman walking down and you're like, hey.
Let
I
me
don't
see your
know,
birth
dude.
certificate.
I'm pretty fucking hot. I think I'd be a hot
You are
chick.
hot. You are hot. You'd be a good looking girl. You'd be a really good looking girl, bro.
I got too much facial hair for it.
I can't
Fair.
grow any, so I'm a chick.
Oh shit.
You fucking. God, we went from racist jokes to tranny jokes to canceled.
Cancel.
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sorry.
We'll just change the name
said-
and restart it.
Shave our faces. Well, not you, because well.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah, I
shaved.
never shaved.
She said so. I did.
Sometimes I get a little mustache and I shave it.
You could probably grow more fucking facial hair than he can.
Yeah, for real.
Motherfucker needs to
Damn.
get on test.
Hey, no, I just tell the gas station attendant when they ID me, she's like, "Can I see your ID, please?" And I make a funny joke. I'm like, "Yeah, when I'm 50, I'll look 24." So it's all
Yeah, it's
I mean,
good.
that's true. It is
good.
true.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So you did.
It's
Yeah.
aging. Yeah. So, okay. So the first time that I fell in love with someone after that, this guy was from New York. I didn't know at the time, but I found out he was married.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's
he flew.
gangster as fuck.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I didn't even know. And he flew me to New York, and I was like, "Oh, I love you." Like, I never even knew what he looked like. I was just so obsessed with finding love again and feeling that romance,
Sure.
And of course, I wasn't living for God. Like, I was kind of putting God on the back burner, you know. So I was like, he's like, "Let me fly you out." And he was talking to me when I was 17, so it's illegal. He was in his 30s. And then when I turned
shit.
when I turned 18, he's like, "Yeah, let's go. Like, I'll fly you out." And then I went out, and then I think that really marked me just having sugar daddies, because he was also a sugar daddy for me. And so I started doing I was working a daycare at the time, but then I started also doing cam modeling. So Chatterbait, all that stuff. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So-
what's it?
I've heard
Omegle.
that term, but what is that? What it is?
Dumpster porn.
Yeah, dumpster porn. Cody.
What is
Cody's
dumpster
favorite
porn?
stuff.
Cody's
Dumpster. I
deal.
don't even
What
know.
is that?
It's where you pretend that it's you that's fucking them.
Really?
POV shit.
Well, yeah, you tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And they
That's
pay.
what Cody's into.
It's virtual.
It's all yeah.
It's you get it's a live girl. It's like you being live right now.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do this, and then I'll pay you this if you do this, and you do it for me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Cody.
I know.
We got
So
a buddy
messed
that's
I
into
don't,
that
I
shit.
don't. I don't think he actually does it, but we make fun of him.
Yeah,
for it.
he admitted to it. Midget porn, dumpster porn. That's what he likes.
I used to make fun of him
Oh.
for fucking
I don't know
pigs.
that he's into that. Is that
You
real?
want to bet? You want to know how many times he sent me links to midget porn because he knew that it
Hey,
bugged
well,
me?
fuck you, Cody. This episode's about Cheyenne. Cheyenne, go ahead.
We got a weird buddy. All right, go ahead.
No, I understand. It's and so of course, at the time, I was addicted to porn. I was having sex all the time, so I was very promiscuous. And then I started making money with having sex. I
So
started.
then it was feeding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I mean,
had
just
motivation.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's how sin multiplies. It doesn't just start one way; it keeps going. So, and then of course I was drinking here and there. I was doing this and that, and then I had boyfriends in between, and then I started dancing. So I started stripping for a while, and then I started. Obviously, I had regular sugar daddies,
Sure.
and then I also had. And then I also got into the adult industry. I actually started doing porn myself. So I literally did everything. It just kept compounding.
Yeah, that was something that I told these guys. I was like, you would not believe this girl's story. You would. I'll be real with you. I thought you were full of shit.
Yeah.
I
No,
did.
I bet. Yeah.
I did my research.
It's a lot.
You're not.
Oh,
Like-
you did.
I mean, all
I
of
mean,
it.
I get it.
No, but I just from the standpoint of no way. No way
Yeah.
this is legit.
At,
And then
at,
you,
a, at a small town.
In a short period of
small
time,
fucking
too.
gym.
and then you sent
Yeah.
your
In
music,
Washington
and we'll get
courthouse.
into your music,
Yeah.
shortly. But you sent us your music, and I'm like, I told these guys in the group chat, I'm like, bro, everything she said is legit. She is not, because you just don't hear that story very often. From small town girl to the sugar daddy thing, to the adult industry, to music, to contemporary Christian music, this gigantic wide range of life experiences, and living in LA, and I'm not trying. It wasn't like I was trying to question your character, but I didn't know you, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So I meet a stranger in the gym, and she tells me these things, and
in a
I'm like,
small in a town of 10 to 14,000 people.
yeah, and it was just. It wasn't that I thought you were a liar. It's just that I literally had to bro, if we're gonna have her on this pod, then I gotta fact check this shit.
yeah, of course.
So, I found it. I found it all, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Fact
ain't lying.
checkers found this to be false information.
Fact
We're
check.
gonna Fact checkers. God damn, that's a mouthful.
Fact checkers.
Say it fast, like
Fact checkers.
5 times.
Fact checker.
Sounds like I'm saying fact check. Hey, Lois, I'm playing fact checkers at Quagmire. Giggity, 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 giggity. But no, I did. I had to do my research, and it wasn't that I thought you were, but when you hear a story like that, you're like,
it's very dramatic.
I mean, you and I talked for 15 minutes in the gym, and I was like, man, this is a lot. Like, so I did my research, and I discovered it all, and I was like, yo, she's legit. All that she's saying is legit. We gotta have her on the pod, because it was just like, this story is so crazy, and it really is, like, all that you've been through and seen and done and experienced and all that. It's just such a compelling story, and as you would put it, a testimony. And so
I'm curious.
How did you get into the adult industry? Like what
like,
if you don't want to touch on it, you don't have to.
I
but
would
like,
love to.
What led you, like, not led you to that, because there's obviously money in it, and you were making money with the sugar daddy thing and the
just so much stuff.
Yeah. So, like, does an agent hit you up? You don't have to, if you're not comfortable talking about it, then don't talk about it.
Oh, no, I would love to. I'm very open.
Go for it.
It just shows how, like, aggressive I am. I'm very, like, a go-getter, so that's why I was kind of like chuckling myself. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Right.
I did that. So there was this porn documentary on Netflix. One day.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I think it's called When Porn Ends.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You're married, right?
Yeah.
I saw your ring.
Yep.
I'm like, I naturally look at that stuff because I worked in the clubs and stuff. So
Okay.
I'm like, I naturally.
Yeah, no, you get it.
Yeah,
the married
that's
guys
good.
gave way more
He's
money,
so
didn't
sweet.
they? The married guys gave way more money, didn't they?
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it'd be like the foreign exchange students and they have their parents' money, and then like the
that's
younger
true.
guys. It would
That's
just
true.
depend. But God bless them. Anyways. Yeah. So I was watching a porn documentary, and it was really fascinating for me. And I would always watch, like, romantic films or, like, just anything just love or sex based, So I was like, okay, like, that's what would catch my attention all the time. So then at the end of this porn documentary, it said directed by and written by, and then it had a name. And I was like, I wonder if I just, like, search him, if I could find him on Facebook and ask him if I could be in the industry. And it's that easy. I searched him on Facebook, messaged him. And
at what age? I'm sorry.
I was literally 17 and a half at this point, but I didn't follow through with it until I turned 18.
Okay.
But he still
Because they probably wouldn't take you.
Yeah.
If you weren't 18, right? Because, I mean, just.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Because that's big. Yeah. Oof. Bring an entire industry to its knees type shit. Yeah.
FBI?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's definitely, of course, been done, like, I mean, if you're, like, trafficked, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you,
a whole other deal.
I just gotta say this. When the porn industry is funded, human trafficking is funded by the porn industry. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Really?
And I've also, like, I'll get into this later.
Yeah, you've got to sort of tell about that. Elaborate on that a little bit of how.
So, okay.
She's like, what can I say?
What can I
There's
say?
just
What can
so
I say?
much. No, like, there's just so much. I'm like, how do I word it? Lord, help me. Jesus. Okay.
I think we're trying to make this story linear, but we're still all over.
No, she's got
Yeah,
that
it's
linear.
fine.
We're good. Yeah.
Trying. So to answer your question, so how it's funded, I mean, well, you got to think, like, why is human trafficking a multi-billion-dollar industry? Well, there has to be people keeping secrets, and also, I mean, the devil is the father of all lies, so this all lines up with the Bible, And so it's like people, I mean, there's people working like 9-to-5 jobs, like they're working in like regular offices in Columbus. There's people that are in LA that are like car dealers. I mean, human traffickers are hidden in these areas and these types of lifestyles, They even have families, and I'll get into it later, but yeah, I was almost trafficked twice by guys that I was dating. And this was in LA, of course, because it's more prevalent over there. But there's definitely like a lot of human traffic like portals here as well in Ohio. And that's like, there was a sign in Columbus that said like, save children from human trafficking, like in Columbus. I saw it like 6 months ago.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely people know about it, and I'm grateful that they do know about it now. Like the Sound of Freedom movie that came out.
Yeah.
It was a human trafficking movie. I saw that. That was very real. Like everything that was in that movie are some things that like I experienced. And so that was like really like pinpointed, you know? But yeah, so I'll get into that later of how that happened. So I just searched this guy, and he goes, yeah, I could fly you out to Miami and you could start doing porn like right then. And he's like, what are you okay with? He gave me, so like professional for no reason. He gave me like this like whole like resume thing to fill out. He's like, are you okay with like girl scenes? Are you okay with like orgies? Like all this, like, it's like a freaking big
It's
paper.
very organized from what I've heard, yeah.
And I was
mean,
like,
as funny as it is, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And I'm like checking stuff. I'm like, I guess, you know, because it's like, you know, again, when you enter sin, it's like there's no boundaries. So I was also getting out of a relationship that my boyfriend was addicted to porn. So that made me really angry. And it made me hurt that he's looking at another woman
Which is
except
ironic
me.
because you were also addicted to porn.
Yeah, exactly. And of
But
course
it's a
I didn't-
control thing.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, you're so smart. He's so emotionally intelligent.
Here's the thing: is I love that you admit your past faults and like where you and I recognize this when we had our conversation in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize where you were wrong, and this is another one of those scenarios where you're like, hey, this is the mindset that I was in, and yeah, I was addicted to this, but he was too. But the reason that I was addicted to it is because of this past experience, and I had a control mechanism that I had to satisfy, and him being addicted to porn wasn't letting me satisfy the control mechanism. So therefore, I was jealous, infuriated, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So it all links together of, hey, here's where my mind was at this point. So I value that because not very many people will admit, yeah, here's where I was. This is X number of years ago. Here's where my mindset was.
Yeah.
You know, people don't want to admit their faults. So that was another reason why I was like, hey, yo, old girl ain't afraid to spill it all out there. So like,
I mean, I had to write a whole ass song about it.
you did. He at a very young age had to write a porn song. So because his old man caught him watching this shit and he had to write a song about it. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've all had the talk with our parents of like, my dad was like, hey, if you click this little button, there's a history tab you can click on.
No one,
right?
like no one had that
way your mom
conversation
doesn't
with
see
me.
it.
All right. I didn't know about that. I just I got curious one day on the Google.
You know, and you Google boobs,
and
didn't you?
Google boobs.
Yep. That's what every 12, 13-year-old boy does.
That's the funny part.
Is they
they're
literally
amazing.
just Google boobs.
And I just boobs, and I was like,
boobs
images,
are
and I was
fantastic,
like,
and that's
my
why
God.
we Googled them. Okay?
I was like, it's this easy.
It's so easy.
And
Yeah.
so then the search began.
The
Mom-
search.
The hub became the hub, bro.
Oh, this was before the hub,
This
man.
was probably before the hub. This was like
Oh,
X
shit.
hamster or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even. It's like
God damn it! I
it
did
was
it
like
again.
X
Fuck.
Tube or
Cody,
some
bro.
shit like that. I don't know.
You porn,
But
bro.
yeah, YouPorn was the one.
Coming
But,
coming in here now. Hey,
Yeah, so I'm looking at all this shit, and my mom has a conversation with my dad, and we
I got
are in
pissed. Don't let this go anywhere.
Okay.
we're in a very public
I'm gonna try to keep it
area,
linear.
and my
Keep it
dad
linear?
fucking comes out of nowhere, and he's like, "Son,
Do I need a gritty off camera? Do I need
yeah."
a fucking
You're too white to fucking gritty. Don't you dare try.
give me gritty when I
What's a
come back in?
gritty?
All right.
You live in LA and you don't know
You
what
know
a gritty
what gritty
is?
No.
It's like the dance that all these football players are doing after they score a touchdown
Oh.
for like 2 years straight.
Huh. Okay.
He doesn't watch sports, so he
I don't
doesn't
either.
I just know
That's
some shit
probably-
my kids started fucking talking
Oh.
about
You have
because
kids?
of yeah,
I have one.
Are you serious?
2 of them.
You have one?
Yeah.
How many does he have?
One.
Wow.
Yep. 1 year old,
Lot
1 year
of
old,
babies around here.
9 and 10 year old.
Wow. 9 and 10-year-old?
He got busy
8
early.
and
Are you
10.
serious?
Or 8 and 10, excuse
8 and
me.
10, yeah.
Well, you guys look too young to have kids.
Hey,
I'm
like I
beautiful.
said, when I'm 50, I'll look 24.
It's amazing. Wow.
I just, I just look great.
How old are you guys, if you don't mind?
28.
28?
29.
28.
Oh, 25. Woo.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Okay.
It starts to hurt. Right about now
We're in
is where it starts to hurt. You wake up with new pains.
40's the new 20, though.
Areas.
It is.
Amen.
Yeah, it is.
Period. My LA's coming out. Period with the T. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
My Valley girl's coming out. I do live in the Valley though. It's really nice. It's like a really bougie area, but it's also by the chaos in Hollywood. It's so nice. It's called Studio City.
I'm only like 53% drunk, so I could hit like 47% of a gritty. I said, right foot.
We waited for you.
No. You don't even wait for me.
Subconsciously,
bullshitting.
I think we did subconsciously.
Person on this show. I just do the intros and the outros. That's all I do.
Okay.
And then the voiceovers, but
And then the voiceovers. Yes.
So anyway, you were saying.
What was I saying?
where the fuck
Which
were
one? I
She
know.
was you were filling out the resume.
Oh, yeah.
God
Yes.
dang, yeah.
The menu.
resume.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Hey, let me eat it. I'm
Not the
going
menu.
home. Going home. I said, let me eat it. I'm going home.
Not the menu.
Press the thing. I don't know the goddamn password. What's the fuck password?
I got you.
Oh, by the
I
way, are you
suck
guys
dick 29?
Something like that, yeah.
are you guys all married though?
No.
No.
Just him.
Oh, that's sweet. I've been married before.
He's divorced.
I'm divorced.
Hell yeah. Hell
Hey, you got any more of that, that shit?
He said it.
Coming off the CrossFit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down. If you're down.
I mean, it's there.
Yeah, I know it's there. Is it loaded?
Kinda.
Continue.
But anyway,
You're filling out your menu.
filling out the menu. We're both
menu.
divorced and
Yeah.
back on track.
Yeah. So, I just started doing that, and then right after I did a few of the videos, I came back
to the box.
I came back to Ohio, and then after I came back to Ohio, like I had a decision to make because simultaneously I was stripping while I was doing the videos, and then I met my ex-husband.
Oh.
In the club.
You met him in the
Maybe I
club.
shouldn't do anymore.
I was his first dance.
That
It was like
might
that
have
type.
You met your
been
husband in the strip club?
Yeah.
the first
I met a
indication.
few
that makes
boyfriends in the
that
strip
makes
club.
me think of Usher and Lil Jon.
I know it's
and
so.
crazy.
I'm in love with a stripper. Yeah. So I was.
I'll be there in a bit.
And so basically, I stopped doing porn because I, fell in love with him, and then, and it was crazy because I was very open with him about it. I was like, "Oh, I'm doing porn." He was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like he kind of had that idea, but then he realized, wait, like I'm falling in love with you. I don't want you to, because
Right.
yeah, obviously, yeah. And and then it started to become a problem with me dancing and all this stuff. And then I basically we got a divorce. He also started being very abusive. So, and he also never let go of his ex, which she was a minor. And then he left for the military.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I was like, okay, and I was tempted to get him kicked out of the army because I could have, right?
Oh, yeah.
But God was softening my heart. And I was like, God, like, I know I'm stripping, I know I'm doing all this, but
So
like,
at
Lord,
this point, you've hit the peak of the stuff you were doing, and
Yeah.
now you're starting that downhill,
yeah,
going back to
I got really depressed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I started taking like depression pills. Someone told me I was bipolar. I took bipolar medication.
Okay.
But really, I was never bipolar. It was just I was going through a divorce. Like,
Yeah.
like everyone wants to diagnose and say,
great
"Oh,
time.
you're bipolar." Yeah.
that's the
Great
first
time.
thing they do. Put you on diagnose you with something, putting you on medication.
Thank you.
That's doctors. It's a joke.
Yep.
Thank you.
Long story short, it's a fucking joke.
It is. I've been
Thank
there,
you.
done that.
I lost a few years of my life to that shit.
Same, homie. Same. Feel like a zombie, bro.
We
we talked about it.
Sleeping most of the time.
missed-
talked about it.
If I don't remember what episode it was, but Tyler and I got pretty teary eyed talking about
Yeah.
We've both been on antidepressants and,
Yeah.
and been through that. How do I put it? That really, I'm lost. There's nothing in my life worth anything. I'm on this medication and I feel nothing. I don't feel low. I don't feel high.
Exactly.
I'm just right here.
You feel like you're a
I
robot.
can't feel joy. robot,
I
zombie.
just fucking exist, bro.
You're just there. You literally wake up, you go to work, you come home, you go to bed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of what it was. And him and I both have lived that, so I can relate to you on that standpoint. It was a doctor giving me a diagnosis. And to be fair, the medication did what it was supposed to do. It made me stop wanting to not exist.
Right. Oof.
But it also made me feel nothing. And I got to a point, I think I was on it for 6 to 9. No, I was on it for at least a year. And I got to the point where I was like, long story short, I was dating a girl that was like, look, you need to get some help. And shout out to her for like saying, hey, you need to get some help. And I did, but I got the wrong kind. Maybe it was the right kind for the time where I was like, yo, not feeling this whole living thing, right?
Yeah.
And then when I got off of that, I was on that medication, and I'm like, okay, well, now I feel nothing. I think I can beat this on my own without medication. And that's like when I stopped taking it, I had a horrible withdrawal. Nobody talks about withdrawal off antidepressants.
Yeah.
I ended up in the emergency room because they thought I had meningitis. It was that bad. Like I just like passed out one day, just dropped over at work, ended up in the hospital. Bad deal. Withdrawal off antidepressants is terrible.
Ooh.
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I went through that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Birth control, too. Same thing.
Yeah,
I took that for 5 years. And
I've heard that it's bad.
Oh, I was depressed for 3 months.
Because it fucks with your hormones.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank the Lord I'm not on. I am. Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You come off that shit and you're like, yo, I can beat this on my own. And then it's still a daily battle, right? It's a daily contest with yourself of, am I going to let the bad thoughts and the negative emotions win, or am I going to be positive and beat this shit out?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can relate. He can relate. You know what I mean? Preston, thankfully, can't relate. I'm glad.
I can. Nope.
I've always been so thankful that he can't. I don't want anybody to go through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want anybody else to feel that.
Preston's so pure.
I'm just here.
To be fair, he is the most genuine human being I've ever met.
I can tell he has a healthy marriage too.
He does.
I feel it.
He is the most genuine human being ever.
She does beat me.
She does
other
beat
than
him.
that, we're all good.
She does beat him. Deservedly. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Sydney is an angel.
Jeez.
Sydney is an angel. God love her. Thank you for letting us watch football at your house on Saturdays. We appreciate you, and I love you. You're my sister from another mister. But yeah, it's I've always been so thankful that he's never had to know that. Tyler and I relate because we do know that feeling. Same thing with you. Like it's you can speak to that. It's it's brutal. Before medication and after medication are tough.
Yes.
Like, and when I say after, I mean after getting off. Are you off antidepressants now?
Oh yeah, that's been like 5-6 years.
Yeah, same. So,
I only took it for like 3 months.
Yeah, I took it for a year.
Oh.
Yeah, a year.
Woo.
A year. Now, granted, mine, to be fair, probably took 3 months to kick in, like to where I got to that zombie level. I was on a really low dose. I was on like 10 milligrams of. We said it on the pod. It's the I can't think of what it's called now. Damn it.
I don't know.
But anyways, regardless of what it's called, but it probably took 3 months to kick in. I mean, I'm a big dude. I'm 6 foot 230. Like, I'm a big dude. So it probably took a little bit to kick in for me.
Yeah.
And then when it did, and I got that zombified feeling, I was like, man, I was relieved for the first couple months. I was like, oh my God, I don't feel so negative all the time. But then I realized that I couldn't get happy. Like, I couldn't get juiced up about something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because even before medication, I was like, man, I still got those highs.
Yeah.
I just had really low lows. So then I got to a point, I went through a really bad breakup. She broke up with me on Valentine's Day. It was awful.
Why is it always on Valentine's Day? What is...
She came home and said, I don't love you anymore, and I'm leaving. And she moved out. Yeah, yeah, straight up. I had a whole date planned and everything.
I feel like it happens to everybody.
Had a whole date planned and everything, girl. You don't even know. Tore my heart out.
I bet.
So, and then I'm sitting alone in my house. The first house I ever lived in outside of my parents. I was like 22 years old. And I went and bought a dog because I thought that would fill the void. And I'm not trying to make this about me. I've already told this story.
Fine.
But just so, you know, you can maybe relate. But
of course.
I go through all this shit, and then I'm like, okay, well, now I can't get excited about anything. And I've gone through this traumatic, I don't like using that word, but like rough event in my life, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on this fucking, this zombifier medication. And it's fucking horrible. And I'm like, dude, I need to feel some motherfucking happiness.
Yeah.
Like, so I said, fuck this shit. I'm going to do this on my own. And granted, I had a really bad withdrawal at a week off the medication. But once that passed, oh my God, like it was like my eyes opened for the first time in life. And I was like, yo, I can literally beat this on my own. I can be a mentally strong person that says anytime those negative thoughts creep in my head and I think, oh, woe is me, my life is so hard. I think about all the people that have it worse than me. And I'm like, bro, you're a bitch if you think that you can't get through whatever you're fucking trying to get through. Right? And Tyler, you and I have talked about this so many times where, dude, life sucks, right? Straight paycheck to paycheck, trying to, whatever it might be, trying to feed your kids, trying to do whatever. You know, all three of us have kids. So it's you know, you're trying to support other people and you're trying to generate this life that you have had in your mind since you were a kid of where you wanted to be at X age and you're not there, right? That's a tough pill to swallow. But when I got off that medication, I realized, yo, I don't give a fuck what I thought at 16. I didn't know shit at 16. So whatever thought I had in my head of where my life should be at 28, like I am right now, is bullshit. Because at 16, I didn't know fucking shit. All I knew was what my parents told me. You think exactly. That's the crazy thing is you think you fucking know at 16. You don't know shit. You can agree with that, right? I mean, you were in the military. Like, you get out of high school and you go straight to the military. Was that your dream?
No, so I moved out on my own at 17.
Yeah.
And I thought then that I was going to grow up to be a rock star. And when I started approaching graduation, our band kind of broke up, and I was kind of really looking at
we thought we were
what the fuck am I going to do?
I fucking am a rock star.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not, but yeah.
But like I was just kind of looking like, what the fuck am I going to do? And we actually had a recruiter visit our aviation class, and he was talking about this stuff, and I was like, I have this skill that I'm learning with aircraft maintenance. I can go in the military and do it.
Yep.
And they'll pay for me to go to school, and I'll go to school for 2 different things. I can get my aviation certificates and all that shit, and then I can go to school for music. I ended up just going to school for music, and I thought that was going to be my ticket, and I graduated, and I was like, well, I have this fucking degree that I can't really use. So that's
but you
great.
learned
But I
so
kind of knew
much.
what the expectation was.
Yeah.
I knew there wasn't going to be much use for it in Ohio when I moved back, but I expected to be able to use that towards build my own thing.
But you learned what you wanted to learn as far as aviation mechanics go in the Navy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was your MOS. So.
Yeah. I tried to do that when I got out, and I fucking hated it.
And Shyann, I didn't mean to derail your conversation as always.
I like listening.
But, you know, what was that like for you coming off of that? You're coming out of the adult industry and you're going through these life changes, you know, whether it's coming out of that or it's getting off the antidepressants or whatever it might be. You know, what was that experience like for you?
So the last time I took any type of antidepressant, it was like when I was 20. And
how old are you now, if you don't mind me? I know you're not supposed to ask a lady how old she is, but
I'm 25.
Okay, 25. Okay.
Happily
so you're
25. Woohoo!
You're just a
Half
couple
a
years
50,
you're just a couple years younger than us. So you would have been like a sophomore or something when we were seniors. So
yeah. So I was on my way with my moving truck with my grandfather, like going to LA. It took like 4 days to drive there with my moving truck, and I remember that was the last time I popped like 3 of the pills, like just to like not feel anything, just to kind of like slug out the rest of the day. And I was in the middle of my divorce. He was also threatening to like kill himself and me. So it was kind of like I was like running away as well.
Sure.
But also
escaping.
It was yeah. And of course I did that a lot in relationships. I just like go ghost. Cause like at the time I didn't feel like I didn't know what to do. So I felt like it's better to just like not say anything. That was kind of my pattern. Because I felt so overwhelmed, like so sad that it ended, you know. And
nobody wants their marriage to fail. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Or even breakups. Like, oh, that's the worst pain for me. Yeah. Just considering my history, that's like the worst pain. Like I'm very, you know, careful now.
Nobody wants their relationship, regardless of how deep or long it is. Nobody wants a relationship to fail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so basically, I would say it was relatively easy. I just kind of, I've always been very like, fluid. So like, I can adapt to whatever. So like me just getting off it, I just made a decision. I was like, okay, I'm off it. So it wasn't that hard.
Your marriage, you mean?
Oh, the marriage?
Or you're talking about your pills?
Talking about
the pills.
Okay.
Antidepressants.
Yeah, the
I'm
pills.
sorry. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the marriage, it took probably about a good year to get over. And it's funny because like we were only together for 5 months.
You strike me as a this could be a poor assessment on my part, but just you strike me as someone that loves really hard.
Yes.
So like when you're in that state of mind, like it's really hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And it's interesting too because I've had a lot of short-lived things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I fall in love quick, but I can also fall out of love quick.
Okay.
So, and I think,
Which
and I've
can be a good thing because it can be a good thing for you.
for me.
Yeah. But hey, at the end of the day,
She's a
who do you gotta look out
heartbreaker.
for?
No.
She's what?
She's a heartbreaker.
No,
What's
I've
that
had
song?
my-
She's
I've
a
had mine
monster.
broken.
You're a Black Widow, aren't you?
No. No, I'm not.
It's good for you, right? And this might be terrible of me to say, but at the end of the day, who do you gotta look out for? Especially when you don't have kids, yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Your number one is you.
yeah, and I think also
Not for us, but
yeah. Well, I grew up with my 2 little sisters. I grew up like taking care of them. Obviously, it's not the same as having your own child, for sure.
Sure.
But it was interesting, like the transition, because I worked at a daycare with infants, and then I took like care of my sisters like every day when my mom was doing the madam work, and then I went to like older men. So I went from babies to like older men pretty quick. And so I oftentimes like I reflect on that because I'm like, oh, maybe I haven't like had kids yet because of like, you know, taking care of my sisters growing up, starting at 9 years old. So I was like cooking, cleaning the floors, like, you know, making them food, like changing diapers. And I enjoyed it, actually. I want to share this because this is a really sweet moment. Like there was times where I would take my little sister, and you know where you put like a blanket over the baby and then you tie it and you hold the baby like that. And you would, yeah. Oh, I would get so excited to like do that for my sister.
you're just making me miss when my son was a baby.
Yeah. And it,
Tyler's over there going, "Fuck you, bro." My kids are like 10.
oh.
Yeah, there's
Go fuck yourself.
there's no more of that.
Yeah.
I can maybe do it with Luke.
I told you need to just
Nolan-
knock somebody up. You just need
Nolan weighs as much as his mom now, so he weighs
that
as
ain't
much as a
saying
fucking
much.
adult.
because old girl ain't very big. So
Neither am I, so kind of needed to compensate.
that warm up.
Anyway.
That warm up been good.
I drink a jug of water too. You got that jug? Okay, I see you.
See, I just drink
Anyway.
cup after cup after cup.
So taking care
Maybe
of
I'm doing
babies.
wrong.
Yeah.
like
And
cold
so
water.
I'll get into this too because this is going to tie in at the very end with the whole to now.
Yeah.
So there was a time where I guess I had the chance to have a child. So shortly after I went to LA, I got pregnant by my first photographer.
Yeah, it happens. Listen,
Damn.
everybody
You
sitting here on
said-
this couch has had
Hey.
sex
Damn.
with somebody they work with, right? No, just me. All right. Here, but a bit on 2, but a 2, but a 2 and a quarter, not half, not 75.
2,000.
She said 2,000.
Nobody else
Fuck
has had sex with a
75.
You're
coworker?
fucking cheap.
Nobody else has
I
had
had
sex with a
sex
coworker?
with coworkers when I was a teenager,
Okay, well, working at Subway don't count.
and then I learned real fucking
You
quick
said
that you
so.
don't do that.
Oh, dude, you don't. Listen, she was a computer programmer. She was from Brooklyn, New York. Okay?
Oh, shoot.
Jesus Christ.
Savage.
Yeah.
New
She was
York.
cute. She was cute. What can I
Little
say?
attitude, New York.
She
attitude.
kind of had a little bit of attitude.
Right?
It was kinda
You
hot.
kind of like it.
She was kind of mouthy. Kind of liked it, and I'm like, listen, if you want to take your pants off, okay?
Oh my god.
You can.
Oh goodness.
You don't have to, but you can. Okay, so
Oh.
nobody else,
All
just
right.
me. Preston,
Just-
you never fucked a coworker?
Not from New York.
Cindy don't recall. That was,
He's
she
so
don't-
smart.
She doesn't work here anymore, so I mean that's good. Like she was like she quit like 3 months after that, so maybe I was really bad, and she was just like, oh, I'm out.
Did you love her?
No, fuck no,
Oh,
no, God, no.
Jeez.
I was hammered. I was fucking hammered.
Give me
And
more
she
of
was
that
like,
bourbon.
she was like super liberal too, and like wore
Oh.
a mask everywhere. And I was like, "Are you gonna wear a mask when I'm plowing you, or is that?"
Are
like-"
you joking? Not the mask.
She did. She wore a mask. It was like 2022.
It's a mental illness now if people are still wearing masks.
Thank
If
God.
there is one person wearing a mask, I'm like, you're fucked up in the head, dog.
No,
Like,
literally.
you're fucked up in the head.
It's the new
I will
medicine.
say,
Unless
I
it's
know
a
some
really
people
old
that
person.
legit wear them like for allergies.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
it's a really, really old
It's
person.
funny, though.
Listen, if it's somebody that's in their 80s or something, then I'm like, hey, I'll give you a pass.
You're
This
trying
girl-
to give yourself
this girl-
another couple of years.
This girl was like 26, and I'm like, bitch, take that motherfucker off, okay?
I gotta inspect
You can't
your face
suck a dick
before
with
we
a
do
mask
this.
on. I got. All right, I'm leaving again. I'm leaving.
No face, no case. Sorry. Sorry. My flesh came out otherwise.
I'm too
Oh,
old to
God.
be laughing out that hard.
You're not old. We're in our 20s.
Oh,
30s.
30's coming. 30's coming.
30 is young.
30's coming faster than I do, and that's
30s are
fucking
young.
fast.
Look. I wanna let you in on some parent math real quick.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
I missed, bro.
so,
I missed. My
look.
shoes laying on the floor.
30 is still young if you don't have kids, but each kid you have immediately ages you 10 years. So really, I'm almost 50.
You're so
I'm 38.
funny.
Like
Yeah.
this is a hard life. Like knees
It's
don't
a
work
hard
like they
knock
used
life
to.
for
The
us.
shoulders
You
not
really feel
great.
like that?
Oh
No, I
yeah,
feel
I'm like 50.
You're so funny.
I'm old.
Listen, it ain't easy being cheesy. All right, it's just not. And I fully agree that every kid adds a minimum 10 years. I would
Minimum.
almost say 12.
Oh, yeah.
12 to 15.
If you
I
look,
feel that.
look, if
I
you
did
don't
feel
have
holding.
a
You don't
few
know.
grays,
Because every day, I understand that. Every day.
And I was a dude growing up that always said I'm never gonna have kids, and then I had
and then it's
one.
forever.
And then
as
I
they get
had,
older.
and then I had one, and it's like the greatest thing ever. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, like stop talking for like 3 seconds. Stop trying to play with the Christmas tree. Like,
Yeah.
stop doing what you're doing. Okay, everything that you're doing. That's what I tell my son. I'm like, hey, everything that you're doing, the answer is no. Okay,
Oh.
so stop. But like then he looks at me with those like big blue eyes that
Oh,
he got
the
from me,
baby.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
it's a baby.
It's so cute.
and
It's
he's
you.
like, dude, he is he
It's
fell out of my
you.
fucking ass, and I'm like, I can't be mad because you're literally me.
Yeah.
You're the same way because
Bro.
Kenny looks just like you, dude.
I have to
So, like-
remind my son to put on deodorant now.
Nolan,
Oh, shoot.
Did you stink when
It's
you were a
tough.
kid?
So like
when he was a kid,
I mean, you still stink.
mistake,
Stinking.
dude.
Bro,
But
apparently
anyway,
I still smell good when I'm fucking sweating in the sauna, dog.
oh no! As soon as I
Yeah.
step into a
Go ahead and
sauna, I can
comb my
smell
hair
myself.
out because I got that Shirley Temple curl.
Strawberry shortcake. Okay.
What's up, fam? My
No,
barber
it's
just told
just
me.
crazy to think
Perfect
that
mullet hair.
you're over here talking about the time, kids going after the Christmas tree, and it's like, I ain't even gonna fucking put it up. You know what I mean? You threaten it, and then it's like, well, fuck, I gotta put it up.
And now you have to remind Nolan to put deodorant on.
And now we've gotten to a point where I have to remind my
Yeah.
son to put on deodorant.
Walker is like, hey, he'll go over to the Christmas tree and reach for an ornament and he'll look at me. I'm like, listen, you little fucker.
Mm.
Hey, no. And he goes,
Oh, my.
ah.
No.
And I'm like, no. Why is you going to buy it? You can't buy answer. And I'm like,
You're like, what?
no.
K-pop.
Yeah, K-pop.
Jesus.
He'll
You should name this K-pop. You
He'll
should
go,
All right, we
He'll
will.
go, dad, 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 dad. Grab an ornament off the tree. I'm like, you little fucking shit.
So cute.
And then he runs because now he can run. And I'm like,
Oh, shoot.
and I'm like,
Get
old
into
and
more
out
stuff.
of shape. And I'm like, bro, you might be able to get away from me now, okay? But you got low legs. You're gonna get tired eventually, Okay.
Oh.
Like 6 steps for you is 1 for me, bro. I'm gonna catch you eventually, and when I do,
No.
I'm gonna look at you with those eyes, and you're gonna go, "Hey," and I'm gonna go, "Whatever you want to do, it's fine."
No, that's so cute.
Oh, I'm the greatest dad ever. Let's be honest. I mean, but anyways, I derailed the whole conversation again, or we derailed the whole conversation again.
I think we were talking about kids. So then we
Yeah.
started talking more
You,
about
you
kids.
did
you were
mention you
wrapping
got
your
pregnant.
sister around yourself.
You had gotten
Then
pregnant.
you had gotten pregnant.
Yeah.
So
Well,
love
not,
this.
yeah.
I just want to say real quick before I say what I'm about to say. You guys are like so like you guys are sweet dads, you know? So like
Thank
I can't relate, but
you can't relate
Yeah.
to being a sweet dad.
no.
Well, at least we don't know you have a pecker.
What?
At least we know that you don't have a pecker.
You're not a dad.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have a dick.
At least from what you've told us.
It's 2023.
Can't confirm, but
Yeah,
you know
can't-
we're speculating.
I'm an it. Thank you. No, I'm joking.
I identify as a weaponized battle toaster.
Oh shoot! I'm a whale.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
I'm a hunchback whale.
I'm waiting on you to start.
I'm a pink hunchback whale.
Yeah. So you get pregnant.
Yeah.
What happens after that?
So I got pregnant, and then he
How old are you at this point?
20.
Okay.
Just moved to LA. I'm just about to start my acting school. Like
Okay.
I'm really like
Did you want to be an actress? Is that
I tried everything because I mean you guys could probably tell I'm a very curious person, so like
Sure.
I'll try everything. So I was in acting school, but I was also doing music. So I just started like actually publishing my first song. You
I was
know?
gonna say I figured we were gonna get into the music here shortly because I thought that the music was more recent than some of the other stuff. So
Yeah,
we'll,
it was.
we'll get into that, right?
Yeah, it's
The
like
music piece.
I started doing music and acting school at the same time. Then I stopped doing music for a couple years, and then I got back into it recently.
I was gonna say you're back into music now. We'll get to that point, but we're
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So you're moving to LA. You're pregnant.
yeah.
What's
I blocked him because I broke up with him.
your baby daddy?
Yeah, that's
Your
weird.
BD?
My could have been
Your could
baby
have been
daddy.
BD. Yeah.
Yeah.
You blocked him?
I blocked him
bitch.
because he was talking to me about he was just saying some stuff that really like hurt my
Did you
feelings.
tell him that you were pregnant?
Well, at this time I didn't know when I blocked him, but then
okay.
after I got blocked, I was like I felt so like loving all of a sudden. Like my body, like I felt like something was different. And I felt like so loving, like my skin was glowing, like my hair was getting thicker, and I was like, I'm starving. Like I'm eating, and I'm really enjoying my food. Like
Oh,
It's,
yeah,
like,
you was
so
pregnant
good.
as
You're
fuck.
pregnant as fuck,
I was
homie.
so shocked. I was like, why is this so good? I'm eating for hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm eating like usually I'd eat 3 plates a day. I was eating like 6 plates, 7.
Did you not have any indication other than that of like, hey,
That's it. And in my mood, I was so like joyful,
okay.
actually. And I was not anxious. I was very tired too. So I'd be joyful for like 2 hours and I'd go to sleep. And then I'd eat. So that's all I did. And then
Same.
And then
Anyways.
I was like, I have a feeling I might be pregnant because like my boobs went like 3 times bigger
Right.
in just a week. And so I went to take a test. I was like, oh my gosh, it's positive. And then I got the second test, like, oh my gosh, it's positive. And I started crying. Like, but I was kind of like happy too. It was like mixed emotions. But then I was like, I blocked him, you know? And I
Right.
was like, and he's like from France, you know? And I'm like, I don't think he's gonna.
Motherfucker smelled real bad, didn't he? I can't, that was the
Well,
terribly
he smelled
racist
good.
joke.
He smelled good.
He smelled good?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's
I
good.
only would be with somebody who smells good.
I know.
But and so I unblocked him.
Tyler, you're out.
Yeah.
I unblocked him. I said, hey, like I could have been sweeter about it, and I didn't have self-control at all. I was just mean, and I was very like you're saying, like controlling. So I was like, hey, like I'm pregnant. What are you gonna do about it? That's exactly what I said. I was not like sweet at all.
Fuck.
I know. It was
I
very
thought the way I was informed was bad.
Hey, listen, bro. When that
Damn.
when that
There's always
fucking
someone
bitch
worse,
tried to
always
say that
someone
she was
better.
pregnant with my kid, I'd do
All
that
I
shit.
got was a fucking picture, a text message of a picture of a positive pregnancy test. No,
I
no
got that.
text.
Hey, can you sit down? I need to talk
Nothing.
to you.
Oh, that's
It
normal.
was good.
I would have
She went
appreciated
about
the
it great.
warning.
You know, it was good. She went. I didn't handle it well, but she went about it great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Her name's Shyann too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Woohoo.
Love
Is
you,
she
babe.
Cherokee Indian?
What's that?
Is she Cherokee Indian?
No, but I am.
I am too. Part native.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
I can tell lots of Native American jokes because, you know.
Bring it
I actually
on.
qualified for, I have enough that I qualified for a Native American loan from when we went to college. So
That's amazing.
it was fantastic. It was amazing. I still have a shit ton of student loan debt, but that's the point.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I did I have enough that I qualified. My great grandmother was a full-blooded Cherokee.
Ooh, come on. Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
I always
My
thought that her, like
great-great-grandmother
Native
was
American, like
full-blooded
her
Cherokee.
Cherokee name was Dances with Tampons because she was an ass. God rest her soul.
I have no idea what you just said.
Are you off to Hizzy? Did you? Oh,
I'm
you
chilling.
didn't? Bro, you drank too much bourbon.
No, I'm just like,
He's so pure.
I'm confused.
He's so pure.
He is really pure. You could tell in someone's eyes when they're really pure.
He's a gigantic piece of shit. Don't let it fly. Oh, wait, that's me.
He's a
Wait a
fucking
minute.
asshole.
He said, you said,
Here I am.
All I got going for me is that my barber told me I have great hair. Okay, that's all I got going for me. So,
woo.
hey, when your barber, wait a minute, he's bald. Does his opinion mean nothing?
I have to tinkle.
Oh well, listen. Do you need to lean against the truck, or does Tyler need to show you the real bathroom?
could do either way.
The dog will eat you.
Hey, do you want me to unlock the truck because I got shit paper in the truck.
Oh, I just need a pee.
You just need to shake.
Yes.
Okay,
I
fair
have.
enough.
Wow. You know that.
See, I'm smart. I pay attention. Preston, you haven't said a word this whole time. I wouldn't say not a word this whole time, but like, bro,
I'm
you're just-
curious. It's interesting story.
And for the listeners, I know that this is a music pod. I understand that, but listen, if you can't tell a good story, then I don't think that you bring a lot of value. And it doesn't always have to be music related. And listen, this girl has tens of thousands of views on YouTube of her music videos, so we will get into music shortly. So bear with us. But I think that part of the reason that makes us who we are is the stories and the life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always have to tie to music, and 99.9% of the time they do. And this tonight's no different because, again, she's a musician, so it's going to get there. But if people have a story to tell outside of music, I always am interested because it's like, okay, I want to hear all of you, like the full story of you, not just the part that's musical about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you and I, like, we would be missing a gigantic portion of our life if we didn't talk about our love for sports, right?
Yeah.
Our love
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Buckeyes or,
Yeah.
or whatever it might be, just our love
Yeah.
for sports. So, yes, music is a gigantic part of it, but you're missing out on the entire story if you don't touch on everything. Does that make sense?
No, it does. Just because, like, I mean, if we were to mention somebody like Derek, he always
dude,
talks
yeah.
about certain kinds of music and certain bands, certain artists, certain genres
Mm-hmm.
being a soundtrack to his life.
Yep.
And even though in this situation music may not be the main thing, there's relevancy to it and why she's sitting here right now
Yeah.
that we feel as if it would be valuable to the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the cool thing about Cheyenne's story is it is a story of perseverance and learning and overcoming, right? And if I've learned anything about the music industry and becoming successful, or at least becoming more proficient in your craft, it's all of those things. It's perseverance, it's overcoming, it's all of that, right? Because if you stay stagnant and you don't experience highs and lows, how are you getting better? How are you improving? How are you learning from mistakes?
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
It's kind of like what's very neat to me here is one, she's extremely open,
Which I'm appreciative of.
yeah,
And I know
it's
our
awesome.
listeners are too. Yeah.
I mean, I've never
No shame.
met the girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like a story of introspection. And I think as we get into our me, like as I'm into my late 20s, and maybe it's because of becoming a parent or something, but like you audit certain areas of your life and certain qualities that you have, and it's pretty cool to see her like go through this. And I know it's kind of been all over the place, but
That's our fault.
go through her situations, her experiences, but also her mindset throughout. And it's kind of it's coming to a point, and then it's starting to come back down.
Exactly.
And I'm curious.
Exactly. I agree 100%. So, hey, you're back. That was fast. I'm proud of you. So proud.
I think it's because like I pee often, so I pee quick.
Oh, dude, I drank a shit ton of water, so I get it.
Me
It's all
too.
good.
It's like you
Yeah.
just learn to pee quick.
You just learn to get it out and get it
Never
done.
quick.
Yep. I'm always quick, but that's besides the point. Hey, listen, A Bella Danger said she preferred dude last 30 seconds than 30 minutes. So I'm in the game, bro. So you were saying you were kind of rude with this guy or whatever you want to say. Like,
Yeah.
how does this? What? Obviously, you don't have a kid, so like, what's the end game here?
So this is what happened. So
This is a judgment-free zone, by the way.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So at the time, like my mom, she grew up telling me, she's like, oh, like, don't ever affiliate with anyone who's ever had an abortion or any of that. So I grew up with that mindset. So I was like, I don't even want to tell my mom, you know?
Okay.
So I just felt like, but I was like, I just moved to LA. I was like, and then he actually said he'd call me back, by the way, when I called him. And then he blocked me
Okay.
because I told him I was pregnant. So it was funny because he wanted to be with me before I blocked him.
Up
But when I
until that
said,
point,
yeah. So then I was like, oh, shoot, like, I don't have him. I don't know. I felt like stuck, you know? And then I was still like dancing and stuff. So I was like, what I'm doing for work requires me to be like physically fit. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I ended up calling my mom. And I was like crying. I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do. I was expecting her to be like, yeah, you're going to keep the baby. Like I was expecting her to say that. But she actually, it was interesting. She said the opposite. And she goes, oh, you can't have that baby. Like I'm going to go there and fly to you. And then you're going to like take this pill or whatever. And I was like, oh. And it was interesting because like I was leaning more towards that. But I was also like, I felt very close to what was like developing inside me, you know?
Sure.
I'm sure you guys
Naturally.
can reconcile that. And so I was like, oh, like, and so I wrestled with it for 5 days. And then I ended up taking the pill, which I was 2 weeks at this point. So it's not like it was like,
Yeah.
but it was still, I still consider that an abortion because like I would never do that now. And so the emotional pain that it took me through was excruciating, as well as like physically. Like when you take that pill, like you are like bedridden for 2 weeks.
Ooh,
Yeah.
can't imagine.
I get it.
So I definitely like repented for that. Like I said, sorry to God. Like I felt very convicted over that, for sure.
I'm the only one sitting on this couch that can relate to you on this instance. I was with someone that we went through this exact scenario. I'm not going to mention names, and if anybody listening to this is local and gets upset, then I understand that. But got pregnant, didn't mean to get pregnant, and I am a pro-choice guy. I'm a conservative, middle ground type guy because here's my thing. Don't tell me what I should do with I guess I'm more of a libertarian, right? Leave me the fuck alone. I'll leave you alone. That kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be damned if I'm going to tell a woman what she can do with her body because I don't want somebody telling me I have to go get a fucking COVID vaccine.
I am not vaccinated.
None
Thank
of
God.
us are. It's all good. No, it's all good.
Woo!
No. Because I don't want somebody telling me my health is my business. My body is my business. What I do, I've never gotten a flu shot in my life. I've also never had the flu in my life. Never. Not once. I'm almost 30 years old.
Wow.
Never will get a flu shot.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
My son is not getting vaccinations.
Good. Yeah.
Not doing it. That's my kid. I get to make those decisions. But I've always been of the mind of a woman's body is none of my business. What you do is none of my business. So this person that I was this lady that I was with, you know, she was like, I think I want to get an abortion. I support you because one, I was in love with the girl, and two, I'll be damned if I'm going to tell her what she can do with her body. But it still like hurt when it happened.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You know? So I get that. But again, I'm not the woman, so I didn't actually go through the physical changes that happened. But from the parenting standpoint of, oh man, I just put a stamp of approval on aborting my kid.
Yeah,
It's a tough
that
call to make.
part.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
Do I feel guilt over it? No, I don't. Because where my life is today, I'm so thankful I made that call. Because if I wouldn't have signed off on that, and not that it would have changed what happened, but like if I wouldn't have put that stamp of approval on and like set my mind of this is the right move, I could be sitting here today going, man, can't believe I did that. But I don't.
Yeah.
I don't ever think like that. Ever. I don't regret it a single bit. And she doesn't either. I don't think she does. I haven't talked to her in years, but I don't think she does.
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't, because I don't want her to. I don't want her to feel regret for that decision because it worked out for her. It worked out for me. You know, we're obviously not together anymore, blah, 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 whatever. But that's a tough call to make. So for you, especially when you're doing it alone, like, dude was blocked you, peace out. I'm good. I'm out.
I did something really funny though.
Oh, goodness.
I used to be very vengeful, you know. So I knew he went to USC, which is like one of the prestigious colleges in Cali.
Yeah, they suck at football, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't follow sports, so whatever you guys are with,
we got
I'm
you.
with.
It's all good.
Okay.
Go Bucks.
So my
OH.
mom.
Oh, baby.
OHIO.
Yeah,
I
let's
went
go.
to Ohio State volleyball game like 2 weeks ago.
All right,
Okay.
OSU volleyball. Let's go.
Yeah. So
Men's or women's?
Women's.
Women's. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So me and my mom, she came out and she supported me, like she was out there with me. And then we drove to his college, and I knew he had this little like, girly car, so I just knew what type of car it was. I don't know, a buggy. I don't know cars.
A bug? Like a
Beetle?
Volkswagen Beetle?
Yes.
A bug. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bug.
I was like, buggy.
He drove a Volkswagen. You fucked a dude. You let a dude with a Volkswagen bug knock you. Girl.
He was new to America. I was
A
like,
French
this
dude
It
with a
was the-
Volkswagen
The
bug?
accent got her.
You know what's even crazier? I gotta say this. A week before this happened, I was at the beach. I said it out loud. I said, I want a man who gives me flowers and he's French. A week later, I met him.
What the fuck?
But see,
Girl.
I just gotta say this really quick because the Bible says that the devil is the prince of the air. And so that's why when people say, oh, you could say anything and manifest it into reality, the devil will give you what you want. But the difference between like, you know, being a Christian and praying to God is like you're asking God, what do you want from me? Instead of saying, I want to have this, I will have this. Because you can manifest
Are we
things.
devil worshippers? Because every time we go, man, Polaris, give me a banger. They just absolutely fucking lay it out. And we're like, oh, man, this is great.
But,
Dude, when I was in middle school, I was so into the satanic, like, fucking imagery, the pentagrams, the like that. That was so metal to me.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't what I believed, it was like, this is so cool and so metal that this is what I want.
Yeah.
Like, paint my nails black and all that
Right.
shit. I was like, yo, I'm metal
The
as fuck.
aesthetic.
Like, yeah, it was all fake. I was a fucking fraud, but like at the same time, I was like, man, I look cool. I'm like, hey,
yeah.
here I am. You wanted a French dude that gave you flowers,
And
you
he
got
did.
a French dude that gave you flowers and drove a Volkswagen Beetle. So
Yeah.
what did you do?
So me and my mom sabotaged his car. But it's not what you think. It's not
You
like I
didn't cut his
damaged it.
brakes?
I put all of these banners on this car and just wrote crazy things on them.
Like,
Just no.
oh no. Come on now.
We have to know what
We
was
have
on
to
the.
know.
It was so no, because it's too much.
No, stop.
No,
You don't have to. I
I'm not
can't
gonna
force
say,
you to.
I'm not gonna say the one that I just thought of. I probably put like jerk or something.
Oh, that's so offensive.
Wow.
Oh, God. Hey.
I don't
she
think I'm
put
ever going
jerk
to
on it.
emotionally recover from this.
I don't know that I'm ever going to have a moment in my life where I ever like feel safe
I probably
again.
put a hole.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
goodness gracious.
Come on.
She called him an asshole.
That's why you can't keep saying shoot. You don't cuss, do you?
No.
Okay, do
Are you
not.
offended by us cussing like sailors?
No, be yourself. Say.
I mean,
Bug
Walk
around,
the
bug.
plank.
I mean, I literally.
Hey, where my zinny bombs
I
at?
technically was a
K-pop.
sailor,
K-pop,
so I'm
hell yeah.
allowed.
K-pop. Change your
Yeah,
life.
you
Hey, I
literally
got-
were a sailor.
Change your life. She got that shit in her pocket, bro. K-pop change your life. K-pop
wonder if I have
make you
anything in
hear
my pocket.
sounds.
So after you had vandalized his Beetle,
What color was it? It was like gray, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, piece of shit. Scumbag. Yeah, because it's boring and the French are boring and they never won a major battle. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Outside of Napoleon. But yeah.
Croissant.
Croissant. My stew will sleep alone tonight. Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Yeah. They like they're not
Bread.
as bad as Germans, like where Germans are really weird and they like want to film you while you poop. But like they're close, right? They're close.
Face. He's so pure.
That's weird.
Dude, Germans are weird. Also,
They're
I'm
into some
German,
weird
so I
shit.
wouldn't mind watching you crap. Like they're
Wow.
weird, man.
That was good.
Bro.
Not really. That was horrible.
got his
That was
shit.
terrible.
I was like
I
the
gotta shit
Minions
with the
guy.
door closed.
Okay. Baba booey. They're
So you vandalized dude's car, then what from there?
So I just kind of left it at that, and then I took the pill, and then I realized, you know, why it's not the best decision to do that. You know, I felt it spiritually, I felt it emotionally, and
Do you regret that decision?
no,
Okay.
I
Good.
don't.
Good. I'm glad you don't because you don't want to live with that.
Yeah, and
Right.
and that's another good point. A lot of people, especially like in the church, like it's really toxic. Like there's a lot of people that think, oh, if you feel guilty, it's a good thing. No, God never wants you to feel guilty. He
Correct.
wants you to be hopeful and
Correct.
keep your eyes like on
Yeah.
the future with Him. But if you're ever
We're not
living in
supposed to feel guilty
Yeah.
that Jesus died on the cross for our sins. We're supposed to feel grateful and thankful and
Yeah.
wholesome and appreciative of that, not feel guilty.
yeah,
We're
like
not supposed to be beaten down by, and I don't want
Yeah.
to get preachy viewers,
No,
listeners,
yeah.
but we're not supposed to feel in debt
yes,
to
right,
God or Jesus or anything for Jesus dying for our sins. We're just supposed to feel thankful and grateful for that. And that's why
Yeah.
we have Easter, we have Christmas, and the stories that come behind those holidays.
yeah,
And I'll be the first to admit I'm a CNE guy, Christmas and Easter only. That's me. We talk about that in the gym. I don't like organized religion.
yeah,
I just don't.
yeah,
But I am a God-fearing man. I believe in
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. He died for my sins. But
yeah,
that's the whole thing is we're not supposed to feel guilt.
yeah,
You know
or
what I mean?
shame,
Or shame.
yes, because
you
that's
know,
not from God.
That's,
Yeah,
No, not at all. No,
Yeah.
Because I believe that guilt and shame drives you further towards
it does.
sin or whatever you want to call it. I call it self-destruction.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call it. If you
Yeah.
feel guilt and you feel shame, what are you going to do? You're just going to beat yourself down more.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make you make more bad decisions. Tyler, even you speaking as a person who's not religious, you can agree with that. That like guilt, shame just makes you beat yourself down and like, yo, like I suck, right?
Yeah.
And you get this self-doubt
Yeah,
and this feeling of inadequacy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're just like, "Pfft, I suck. No, that's not what God intended for us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Oh, yeah, for
again, I'm
sure.
not trying to get preachy, but
no, yeah, that was good.
I am curious.
Mhm.
You know, this is a music podcast, so I am curious.
Yeah.
We haven't touched on it yet, but you had a very successful music career. And listen, you got to understand what we're basing it off of, okay?
Mhm.
So you have music videos with tens of thousands of views, right? How did you get into music? Where did that passion come from? And like, how did you blow up like you did?
Which music videos are you talking about?
It was an Empress Yummy one.
Yummy, it's Yumi.
Is it Yummy? I thought it was Yummy. I thought it was like a code name for Yummy. I'm going with Yummy. Empress Yummy. But like, where there was one you sent in the group chat or in the Instagram thread, and
Yeah.
I looked it up on YouTube, and I was like, yo, like this shit like blew. And this was very well produced. It was very high level. It wasn't your filmed in a garage music video.
Or
So-
YouTube video like this.
Or yeah. Who was that dude that was talking mad shit to us? Yeah, fuck you, kid.
The
You got,
microphones
like-
were not in the way, you know?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Look like this show could be called Microphones in Front of Guys. Yeah, well, we got a girl in here, so fuck you.
Korean heart.
Yeah. K-pop, piece of shit. So when did the Empress Yumi thing start, and like did the music thing come after all that we just discussed?
So it definitely started first
Okay.
when I was 20, and then I kind of got like caught up in like the sugar daddy lifestyle, the LA partying lifestyle. And then I was always writing. Like I've always written music.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't publish it up until I would say, at 20, I published an EP called Manic Pixie Dream Girl, and then I published Ya Ya Ya,
Yes.
which I did
was
not. By the way, that wasn't my writing. You could probably tell if you listen to all my other stuff. Like, that's not me.
Sure.
Like, that was a ghostwriter. But he worked with Sony, and he scouted me with these auditions that I did. It was an expo event for like talent in Texas, and so that's how I got in contact with him.
Okay.
And so he's like, it'd be better if you could move to LA. And I was like, well, I already plan to. Plus, I'm going through divorce, so it kind
I'm
of
getting
all
outta
happened
here type
simultaneously.
thing, yeah.
And then I started publishing like, I got a few managers. One of them was a social media manager. His name is Uche, and he was from Nigeria, actually. This is getting into the
Not
selling.
the same Uchi off of Love is Blind, is it?
No.
Okay. Not that I watch Love is Blind or anything.
Oh, yeah.
I never
Why would you
fucking
do
heard
that?
of it.
It's a romantic comedy. It's like a dating show.
I promise I'm not gay.
Oh.
But yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So this man, he basically had like his own media company, and he was from Nigeria, so he was from Africa, and
So he was probably really smart, wasn't he?
he was.
Yeah. I've never met someone from Africa that isn't like a super genius and makes me feel stupid. Which doesn't take much. But yeah, go ahead.
They
Yeah.
are smart.
They are
Yeah.
extremely smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he kind of like, he was my social media manager, but he was also helping me to get my next project out with my music. And he was like, I want to manage your music, all of that.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, but I always felt something very dark with him, like spiritually, and he...
Just bad vibes type thing. Like,
Yeah.
yo, something's not right. Okay.
And so I found out he's part of the Freemasons. And my grandfather, by the way, was a Freemason before he died a few years
Isn't that
ago.
like a cult? Aren't they
Yes,
like a cult?
it's
Yeah, that's what
satanic
I-
cult.
That's what I thought.
So I'll
That's
just
what
say
I
this:
thought.
Illuminati, Freemasons, witchcraft,
same
all
thing,
of that.
isn't it?
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like the devil likes to call it many different names, but it's all the same thing. And so with him, he straight up asked me one day. We had a 2.5 hour conversation about it, and about me, like if I were to join. To be like an Eastern star, because like Beyonce and like
Oh, she's 100%
Lady Gaga,
Illuminati.
yeah,
1000%.
yeah, and so a lot of stars are part of this, and so he was like, you have what it takes to be a part of it. Not everyone is chosen to be part of this, and I was also thinking, I was like, I know that I was marked as a child, to like be a missionary, but also like I was blessed as a child with holy water, like I was baptized when I was little. So I just always had God in me, and I always had an inner knowing that like he was real and that I shouldn't do this. Even though I wasn't living for him, I wasn't praying during this time. I wasn't doing any of that. Like I wasn't going to church, but I just didn't want to like sell my soul. And he was like, literally, if you sign this contract, like you can, like, he's like, tomorrow, you can get like a feature with your fame, like your most coveted rapper, like
Do you
whoever
think
you
that's
want.
why Hollywood makes it seem so easy?
It is easy if you sell your soul. Oh yeah,
That's what I figured.
I mean, because if you think about it, and Scripture says this too, like wide is the gate to destruction and narrow is the gate to heaven. So it's like, obviously, the devil wants as many people as possible to be his minions and to like go to hell, because he's already in hell. So it all makes sense when you like really read the Bible and you're just like, oh shoot, like this makes sense why it's so easy, to like get things like this. And honestly, I was tempted. I was.
Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Right?
I was like, oh shoot, like I'm not going to have to strip anymore. I can have all this money. And they offered me like a $2 million contract. They're like, who's your favorite rapper? Uche was telling me this. He was my friend. This is like my friend. It's like, I know him. And I was like, well, my favorite, I love Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I know.
Get the fuck out.
I don't
I like
I don't
Megan Thee
anymore.
Stallion because she just did a song with Spirit Box. But yeah, go ahead.
Sexy red going
Sexy
crazy.
red going crazy. Let me see a look at her.
So, really quick, before you jump into that, I want to make sure I'm on the same page with you. What, in terms of the phrase "sell your soul," what does that mean?
Yeah, and I think like a lot of people ask that, like I didn't even know it was really, really real until it happened in front of me. So what it means is you you sign a piece of paper. You sign away your spiritual rights. So you're just like, it's really sad. You have to take an oath that you don't believe in God. You have to literally raise your hand and say, I do not believe in God.
No shit.
I'm serious.
Holy fuck.
Listen, everything you've told
It's
me
bad.
before is legit, so I'm not one to doubt you at this point. So
Yeah, it's...
I'm
And
gonna have Illuminati knocking at my fucking door tomorrow. Like, hey, why the fuck you doing this, bro?
Well, and that's why I asked, just because, like, I've heard this as I've gotten more creative and
Yeah.
followed musicians.
I mean,
over the
everybody's
years.
heard about the devil at the
Sell your
crossroads,
soul
right?
and
Muddy
all this shit,
waters,
and I'm
all
like,
that shit.
what do you mean sell your soul? And especially in a situation like this.
How do you turn that down? I mean, real. Because you know what? I sure could use a $2 million contract
Yeah.
right now. How do you turn that down?
So I just think, again, I go back to like the inner knowing. Like I really felt, now I know it was the Holy Spirit, but at the time I didn't know. I just thought I was just making a good decision. So I heard in my head, like, don't do it. And I
Yeah.
know it was God. Looking back at it, I know it was God. And I just didn't feel right in my spirit or in my heart to do it. And I was like, I can't do this because I can't deny God. Like, I know he's real because I've had dreams about Jesus growing up. I've had dreams about the second coming of Christ. I've personally had dreams about it when I wasn't asking for it. So I was like, I can't deny God, you know? But then also it's like, I've also seen the demonic. Like my sister, there was times where she would be possessed in the middle of the night and we don't know what to do. We take her to pastors and all that. So it's like, because I'm so aware of the spiritual realm, you know, like I was saying earlier, it's like, I already know if I sign my life over, I'm going to have even worse things happen to me. I'm going to have all the money, but that's all I'm going to have. I'll have the fame, the success, all of that, like the worldly success, but I'm going to forfeit my soul. And like in Luke, it says, what do you really gain if you forfeit your soul, but you profit the world? You know, you gain nothing, because at the end of life, like, especially my grandfather, I was thinking of my grandfather too. Like my grandfather died 5 years ago. And so this is right before I moved to LA. And so he was an atheist his whole life. He like actually put me down because I was a Christian. Like when I was a little girl, he'd be like, why do you think God's real? Like he'd be like really like actually like mean about it. And I would always, it's so funny. Like the Lord would always speak through me, even though I was little and I was like masturbating and stuff. I started masturbating when I was 5. So I was like,
What the fuck?
I know. Sorry. I'm
Wow.
sorry you guys are dads. My bad. Anyways,
it's okay.
It's possible. Sorry. So
Damn.
your kids aren't doing that. I hope
Oh
not.
God, I have a boy, bro. I don't have to worry about one pecker, not all of them.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's male or female.
Oh, I fucking hate my life, bro.
5 years old.
So
Bro, she's been through it all. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm 50. Not you.
You are, dog. Like, you one of the homies now. Like,
Yeah.
I started
There we
masturbating
go.
when I was like 15, but like,
Oh, that's sweet though. That's great.
I
that you
don't
were
know when it was. I
It
don't
was
know.
At least
definitely
you were
before
5.
15, but you know.
Yeah, but like that was probably the first time I was like BOOBS enter.
Oh my gosh, your face. You said enter. Stop.
Listen,
The excitement
and I was like, they're
on
everywhere.
one's face when you
Ooh,
go to
I
hit
got a
enter.
rat's nest.
you
So
know.
like you're sitting in front of this contract.
Yeah.
And
Did
years,
you actually see it?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have been religious. You grew up pretty
Stupid
religious.
question. Is this an email? Is this like-
You still had these beliefs.
Yeah.
Is there a paper
This-
trail here?
No, I mean, so
Fuck you for turning the heat on, by the way. You
Oh,
pussy.
thank you.
yeah, exactly. We're on the same page.
Oh,
So
you skinny
you
fuck.
grew up religious. You have these certain beliefs. You've stayed true to them for the most part, even
Kind
though
of.
you've obviously strayed away from them with
Yeah.
with things that you were doing, your
I don't know,
actions, all of
Paul's holy
that.
as shit, bro.
You're sitting in front of Uche, right?
Yeah.
He's talking to you. You got this contract in front of you. Does something just not feel right?
Yeah, it just overall it just didn't feel right. And so sorry, I need to get back into the grandpa really quick. So
Yeah,
at the
I'm
end
sorry.
of no, it's okay. Because I feel like this is important. It's a huge part of my testimony too. Like I didn't know him that well my whole life, but every time I'd talk to him, like I would always be scared because he'd always like challenge me about my beliefs. And then on his deathbed, after being in a coma for a month, he told me, he goes, this is his last breath, his very last breath. And I never thought he'd ever say anything like this. But when he woke up from that coma, he looked different. He looked more peaceful. He looked more just pure, like good, you know, because he was always like enraged and angry. And then he goes, whatever you guys do, don't ever lose your faith in God. And then he died. I believe when he was in that coma, he saw something. I believe the Lord gave him another chance, even though he lived his whole life as an atheist, you know? And I think that's why there's a lot of people when I love to watch near-death experiences. I don't know if you guys have watched that on YouTube. There's tons of near-death experiences where every single one, they always like encounter the Lord. They always encounter Jesus, or sometimes it's just God. Sometimes it's Jesus and God. But it's like, and I've met people who've went to hell and came back. And I know some people might think it's a myth, but it's real. And I believe certain people are gifted to do that, so that it's a gift that they're able to experience either heaven or hell, so that they can come back and tell us about it, to warn us, you know, because it's real. And and so basically going back to that. Yeah, it was a real contract, and I said no. And after talking to him about it for 2.5 hours, it was interesting. At the end of the 2.5 hours, I told him, I said, you know why I'm not going to do it? Not only do I, of course, I believe in God.
I just heard your southern accent.
Yeah.
I heard
It comes out.
I heard it. Okay,
Yes, I
sorry.
still have it.
I heard it.
Oh, you still got it. It's all
I'm
good.
not all the way sold down.
Yeah.
Not yet. I am going to get to why the fuck you're still living in LA, but we'll get there. Go ahead.
Okay.
No. Okay.
I'm actually praying about that right now. There's a lot praying about. Okay.
Coming back?
Well, there's like my lease is up in a month, and
Can
so
I ask you how much the cost of living out there is insane, right? What are you doing for work right now?
So right now I'm literally just doing my social media. So now I just have my
I was gonna say, 'cause
ministry
your
content.
social media is
But okay, I'm taking Andrew Tate's course. That's
Okay.
another social.
he has a social media course?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So
He has
you're
a
not one of those
copy-
women that hates Andrew Tate.
No, I knew you guys would love him, huh?
I
Oh, you probably
I'm
don't
a
think
big-
he's sweet.
I know of him, but I don't know what the fuck he's known for.
He was a boxer first,
Okay.
right? And he's a social media person.
I just know he's a jack dude that
He is
seems like a
jack, yeah.
motivator.
He's
and
got a
Yeah,
brother,
motivator.
Tristan. They're not twins, are they? Andrew and Tristan.
I don't know.
But yeah, he was a boxer first, and now he's
Yeah.
a social media person.
Okay, cool. So you're doing social
But
media.
he's very pro men,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of women don't like him because he's very like traditional.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say he's traditional, but also I think that well, it's interesting. He has the seed. What I mean by seed is like if you're once Christian or have people in your family praying for you, you have the seed. You just have to water it. So now he's a Muslim, but his brother is actually trying to convince him to be Christian. I think he's going to be a Christian again. And
Oh,
like
yeah, he is a Muslim. I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, because he said, and
Allahu Akbar.
he went to the Muslim country. Where is it? Which one did he go? I forget which
There's a
country.
lot of
Syria,
those.
was it?
Yeah,
Wasn't
But he-
Syria, was it?
he said
Why do
he-
I think it was Syria?
maybe he's been all around.
Well, he was like in a fucking jail for a while because
Yeah. He said he felt the power of God. He felt God for the first time when he went to the Muslim country. So
But
now he's
isn't
Muslim.
Allah God? And that's just another word for God for the Muslims. Isn't their beliefs super similar to Christians, except they have like prophets that they?
So
Yeah.
I
You
actually
know more about this than I do.
I actually had a Muslim I worked with in the Navy, and he actually came over for
Yeah.
our Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Was that
And,
weird for him? No disrespect.
It actually
No,
it
yeah,
actually
yeah.
wasn't weird to him at all. I
Yeah.
mean, I asked him, I was like, man, I don't know how you feel about it, but like, you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna be having, dinner. You can come over. I know you don't fuck with ham, but like I'm gonna have a fuck ton of turkey.
That's right. I
And he
forgot
was
they were
like,
no pork.
he was like, as long as this, I'm not eating pork stuff. He's like, you guys can have ham, but like, as
Yeah.
long as there's turkey, I'm down. So he showed up, and while he was there, I asked him some questions, and
Yeah.
he said, honestly, our beliefs are not that much different from Christianity. We just don't believe that Jesus Christ was the prophet. We
It was
believe that
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and you look at the scripture. I can't say that I've really, in detail, read any or either side of it, but a lot of it's talking about the same shit.
It's very similar. I feel
There,
like.
there just seems to be nowadays more extremists in Islam than, at one point there was a lot of extremists in Christianity.
Crusades.
It's just that
Catholicism versus
Islam is a
Protestants.
little bit younger of a religion than Christianity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
Cool time of history to study, by the way, the Crusades.
It is.
Very cool. But yeah, Catholicism versus Protestants. And nowadays it's like, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that I think the Catholicism is evil.
Thank you.
I'll be the first to tell you that I think that Catholicism is absolutely evil.
Yeah, and
They have nothing but a history of raping boys. Like, and it's so widely accepted. And I'm like, and I'm sorry if there's any Catholics listening. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's all of you. I'm not trying to generalize an entire religion, but the hierarchy of your religion, buddy, I'm out. Like,
yeah, and there was
just like how Adolf Hitler thought the Jews
yeah.
were, destroying the world. And there's people that still think that today. I'm like, where's the proof in that? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Bro, they got Israel. Like, leave them alone.
that's all they have, dude. Like,
that's all they got.
now,
Yeah.
granted, the Jews did kill Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Pontius Pilate was Roman, but he
Pontius
ordered the
Pilate,
Jews.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's correct.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I believe I'm of the belief that everybody's entitled to believe. I don't. If you're Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist or Jewish or whatever, that's great. But like,
Yeah.
you go back and study the Crusades, and that's like literally Christianity versus everybody, right? Like it was like the 100-Year War, and like
Well,
there's
I think a lot of people fail to understand that the spread of Christianity across Europe was extremely violent.
it was an incredible.
It was
mass
crusade
casualty over-
after crusade after crusade, and then they thought they would just continue that trend into the Holy Land.
of Rome
And
Holy Roman Empire, which
yeah,
was
they had a
Catholicism.
yeah.
Let me throw that out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, we were
this is-
talking
Everybody
about
thinks
stuff.
that King
So
Henry
good.
VIII was such a bad guy because he killed a bunch of wives, but King Henry VIII was really the one that like made Protestant religion acceptable. So he's like, "Yo, we're gonna separate from the Holy Roman Empire,"
yeah.
and everybody like tried to like kill the king for that.
It
I'm
wasn't
like,
the Holy Roman Empire. They
No.
were getting away from the Catholic Church.
yeah, yes,
yeah.
correct,
Holy Roman Empire was basically Germany.
correct.
Stuff.
Yes. No.
History
No.
stuff. Yeah,
Tyler's really
love
good
it.
about medieval
I love
Christian
it.
history,
It's
like
so
that type
violent.
of thing. Yeah, it's incredibly violent. It's
It was
amazing.
a horrible time to
Love
be alive.
violence. It's amazing. That's why we watch Game of Thrones
You'd
and
be
The King
one
and
hell
all
of
that
a
shit.
red-bearded Viking, dude.
You would
I
be an
fucking-
amazing
Yeah.
Viking.
Let me braid just a little bit of
You'd
this.
be an you want
And
to braid
I've
my
been
hair?
practicing swinging an axe, so I mean,
Do you
I'm
want to braid my
halfway
hair
there.
sometime?
I don't know how to braid, but
Okay.
I know how to swing an
I mean,
axe.
she
now.
knows how to braid, so maybe she
Hey,
can
what's
braid
up?
my hair. Yeah.
You got me. Like,
Yeah, I do.
all right.
Yeah, you got so much
My
hair. you can
dad's
braid,
Viking. My dad's red hair, blue eyes.
I know.
Grr.
I'm
I
only
know him.
I'm only half
Press
ginger.
That's why I'm tall. Keep up.
Another thing is like I take and this goes against, I'm sure this goes against some of your beliefs and things like that, but like maybe because I value Native American tradition so much that like I really feel nature a lot. Like I really value nature and the earth and the sky and the ocean and things like that. And I try to pay tribute to my ancestors that way.
Yeah.
Like I've got feathers tattooed on my arm for that. Like I really try to appreciate what my ancestors believed,
Yeah.
and valuing Mother Nature
Yeah.
and the gods of nature, and Hakantoa, things like
Oh
that.
yeah, I know all about that.
So,
I don't know about all that.
so like I really like appreciate Samoan culture too.
Yeah.
So like because they're again very in touch with nature and feel that nature gave them all those things that they deserve, but I try to tie them together, right? So it's yes, I value nature, but nature's here because of God, like nature, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a
Yeah.
appreciation of both cultures, of my German heritage, of my Cherokee heritage, of all these different combinations of things. I try to incorporate all those things together and pay homage to all of them. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of them and what they believed, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. No, I get that. My grandmother, she grew up Buddhist, and then she was also like Hindu at one point. And it's funny because
is that a Korean religion? Like, is that like what they?
It's an Asian religion.
Is it-
A lot of Asia is very
I'm horribly educated on
paganistic.
Asian like culture and that kind of thing. So I'm
Hindu's more India, Buddha is more
they're so intelligent.
Yeah.
China,
Asian
Japan.
culture is so intelligent, and I feel like it's so above my level that I'm like, listen, if I try to understand what you guys do, like I feel like I'm going to be outclassed. So I just like stay in my own lane.
Yeah.
Like-
But a lot of people don't know too, like India is Asian as well. But a lot of
Right.
people, you know, like to separate it. But there was a point where I was Catholic at one point. I didn't get into this earlier because, you know, there's so much, but I studied theology as well, and I have a few theology books. And so there was a point where I was like, okay, I'm Buddhist for like a year. There was a point where I was Hindu, I was Muslim for a little bit, and then now this is getting into the more recent. So 8 months ago, I was at the beach at Santa Monica at like 3 a.m. This is the part I told you.
yes.
And I was like, I remember like I had my hands open like this, and I was like, creator of the universe, right?
Whichever one you might be.
Whatever. I was like, I know I've had dreams about Jesus before, but like, I want to know like who the real God is. I think we all do, right?
Sure.
And I'm just like, God, just like show me like what I should believe in, because I'm very open. You know, I've studied this, and this. I've heard so many testimonies of this. You know, my family's Christian, but they don't kind of live like it. So like, I don't know. Like, I haven't really seen a good example of a Christian. So I was like, just show me. Like, I'm all ears. I'm yours. Right after, I kind of asked him, I was like, Lord, like, is it Jesus? You know, like what? You know, and then after I said that, I was like, is it Jesus? I felt this like overflow of like peace that like ran through my body. And I felt like all the anxiousness and all the depression that I was feeling, it just went away, you know? And then that was my answer. But also that's when I started having even more a series of visions and dreams of Jesus himself in the Bible times. Like, one of my visions that I had was like, and a vision is when you're awake and a dream is when you're asleep, right? So there was a vision that I had of Mary in front of Jesus, and she was like crying and she was like wanting to hug him. And it's like, and every time I would have a vision or a dream, like I would be so moved that I would like cry, you know, and I'm just like, okay, like this is my answer, you know. And then also I got into like the testimonies on YouTube, and I was like, oh, like all these testimonies, like all of them are, you know, pointing to like Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But then also like, and you guys made a good point about Rome. I also learned, there's a really good pastor, his name is Isaiah Salvador, and he explains it way better than me. But basically in Rome, there was all these like pagan temples, right? And so a lot of those temples, they turned into Catholic churches. And so they never replaced those deities or those gods. Like, you know how zodiac signs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to believe in that. I
think it's a bunch of crock of shit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was practicing witchcraft just last year. So like I knew
I'm gonna be real
all
with you.
of that.
Witchcraft's cool as fuck, but yeah, go ahead. It's
But
metal as
it's
fuck.
so
like
demonic,
metalhead
though.
me is like, yo, it's witchcraft's metal as fuck. Yeah, but go ahead.
So basically, like those pagan temples, they turned it into the Catholic Church, and then those same statues, they just turned it into like Saint Joseph or Saint Mary. But though they never like rebuild the statues, they just turned the pagan gods into the saints, right? And then now Catholics worship the saints, which I was going to confession a couple years ago. So I was like in these Catholic churches. I love like the holy water aspect. Like I actually wish, you know, the Protestant church would have the holy water, you know, because I feel like it's just, you know, like Father, Son, Holy Spirit, like I just like that, you know. But like the worshiping the saints, you know, that's like demonic because that's idol worship. And, you know, the 10 Commandments is, you know, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Yeah. And so
Which is a great album by Like Moths to Flames. Shout out Like Moths. Well, we had to plug a metalhead reference right there, but yeah.
and so like Buddhism too, like I stopped believing in Buddha because he was and he was like a peaceful, you know, fat man, you know, and he was just very good.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone liked him.
Nobody?
He
All
got
right, fair
along.
enough.
But it's like when he died, that's when they created Buddhism. It's like he probably never even wanted a religion named after him. He was just being a good, peaceful man. I don't know what he believed in. I have no idea. But it's like, you know, and I'm sure you can relate to that too. Like when you look at the history of it, like it's not like he never said, I am sent from God. you
Yeah,
know?
no, he not like he was claiming to be something he wasn't, right?
Yeah. And
You know?
so,
Like you see all these religious cults, like the, you look at Waco or something like that, where you know people claiming to be a prophet of God or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He Buddha wasn't doing that.
right.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, when I was doing witchcraft last year, I had like a whole book and everything. I was trying to manifest everything. I was trying to like attract money, and I attracted all the money,
Love money.
all the men, all this that I wanted.
Almost said love men.
But
Yeah,
I
you
love
do.
men. Hey.
Yeah, you do.
I do look
Hey,
good.
yo, I love men.
I do a lot of
Oh, my hat's
squats,
gone.
man. My ass be looking great.
I do a lot of squats, bro. I got a negative ass, dog. I need to do more squats.
negative.
It's tough out. It's tough out here for a pimp.
A pimp.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
take
know.
that
Fucking-
deep too, because my mom.
Can I frame that? I take that deep.
Jesus Christ.
Can we get that on a shirt, please? Hey, W's in the chat for that. All right,
Let's do
W's
it.
in the chat for I take that deep. All right, because I take that deep. W's in the chat. Go ahead.
Anyway,
And I remember I was doing like a chant, like an incantation one day, and obviously I wasn't following God. I was like kind of calling myself a Christian, but I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out last year, right? So I was doing this little spell thing, and then literally a week later, I mean, I was getting everything I wanted, that I was doing like the spell stuff, you know, but then I got infested. My apartment got infested with cockroaches. Like so many, like thousands in there. And I couldn't get rid of them.
Pestilence.
I could not get rid of them.
Pestilence.
Yeah.
A plague. A
Yeah.
plague on
Yeah,
both our
plague.
houses.
And I literally, you know what? The only thing that got rid of it, I said, because I hadn't prayed in like a few weeks, like at all to God. And I was like, because I thought like, oh, just doing these spells is enough for me to like sustain myself. And like, and I was like, I'm just going to try to pray to God to see if this goes away. Like, God, I'm sorry for doing the spells. I literally did that. I was like, can you just like help me to get rid of this? Like, I just started praying to God honestly. 2 days later, they were all gone. I'm not even kidding. And I did it in the name of Jesus, you know? And then there was another thing, like, I feel like this is really powerful to share. 4 months ago, I don't know, have you guys heard of the term, like, casting out demons?
Yeah.
I'm sure you...
Most of the music we listen to, we feel like is that.
Okay, well...
Seriously. It's pure
Yeah.
aggression.
Yeah. So I was at church one day, and this girl came up to me, and I fast like pretty often now. Like I'll
Isn't
do
that a
spiritual
Catholic thing?
fasts. No, I mean, Jesus says in Matthew, like if you fast and pray, that's the only way that certain demons can flee from you, or like addictions. So like I mean, if they do it, I mean, anyone can fast. You could do like
Yeah.
but for me, it's I read the Bible, I pray, and like I just let God like lead me on my fast. But I ended my fast, and then I went to church. So I just like ate food, and then I went to church. And so I was feeling very like extra like heightened spiritually,
Okay.
and really close to God that day, like extra. And then this girl comes up to me, and I've never like seen a demon in somebody. Like I've never thought about it, I guess. Like I've watched videos on like certain pastors casting out demons and stuff, and I kind of thought it was fake, to be honest. I think we can all
I was
agree.
going to say, I don't buy into that. I really
Yeah.
don't.
Well, I'll tell you this. So,
But I'll hear you out on this.
yeah. So I thought that too, and I'm not saying that everyone is truthful and really going by the leading of the Holy Spirit with it. Maybe some of it's fake for sure, because I felt like some pastors that I watch on YouTube, like, okay, that's fake, that's too much. But this girl came up to me, and I saw something else looking at me. When she was looking at me, I saw something else looking at me, and it was just dark. And she asked me, she's like, can you come to my house tonight? And we were just talking about God and stuff, and she said she's in witchcraft and all that, and I used to be in that, so I'm aware of it, like the tarot cards, the zodiac signs. And then I was just like, Yeah, I said yeah instinctively because I felt like God was like, just go and just trust me. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen, but just trust me. So I was like, okay. So I went to her house. She starts manifesting physically. And what I mean by that is she starts crying. She's like telling me her mom tried to kill her last year. Like, she's telling me all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, well, we're going to say a prayer because, I mean, she seemed like she was very, like, stressed out. You know, like, I didn't know what else to do, you know. I'm a human just like her, you know. So then she tells me, she was like, I think I have a demon. Like, right after I said that. And then she just looked at me. And the whole atmosphere in the room changed. Like, it was so crazy. And me and another girl was with me when we were there. So I met them both at church, and then we all just kind of hung out. But they were best friends, but I've never met them before. But I was at their house because I felt like I was supposed to be there. Like, I just felt like God was telling me to go. And so I was like, okay, well, if you're saying that, we're going to pray. Like, you know, like, what else am I supposed to do, right? So I felt like this special, like, anointing came over me, like, this spiritual boldness came over me. I held her hand, held the other girl's hand, and I led the prayer. Now, as I'm praying, the moment up until I said Jesus, like, she was just, like, kind of crying, but she was kind of, like, just, like, trying to listen to what I was saying, you know, like, in the prayer. But then, right when I said Jesus' name, she starts, I'm not even kidding, she starts shaking, and then she starts screaming at the top of her lungs, and I literally heard, that was the first time in my life this happened, and I never expected this to happen. I heard demons come out of her. Like, it was like a whole freaking Exorcist movie. And then after that, she started, I'm not even kidding, she started throwing up. And, like, when she's, like, right before she started throwing up, because I was still praying, the other girl that was with us, she brought a little, she had a little trash can, so she brought it in front of her so that it happened perfectly, like, it was smooth. Like, it was really dramatic, but it was like I was praying, and then she brought it right in time, so, like, the vomit hit the trash can instead of the floor. And it was, like, so, like, synchronized by the Lord. Like, I felt peace while I was doing it too. I was tempted to stop praying because the devil also wants you to be afraid of things like that. But the Bible also says, like, God doesn't give us a spirit of fear or timidity, but a spirit of power, love, and of a sound mind. And that's what that verse means, you know? So it's like, and if you look at, like, what Jesus did, the miracles that he performed, like in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, he's casting out demons, you know? And it's like a lot of people, like, especially churches here, which I go to churches here when I'm here, but, like, the church I go to in LA, it's called Fearless LA, and it's more of like a, I guess you could say, Pentecostal, like, passionate feel. But it's like, Jesus said, like, when they are saved and born again, they shall cast out demons in my name. You know, Jesus said that himself. So it's like, when that happened to me for the first time, and I was just being led by God, that's when I started believing, oh, shoot, the Bible's coming to life in my life, you know? And so, like, the Lord used me to help deliver her from, like, the demonic oppression that she had inside of her, because she was doing tarot cards. She said demons were talking to her, like, before this even happened. And now, after she started, this lasted about 15 minutes that we were praying, and she was screaming, and, like, she got all the vomit out. And then she started laughing afterwards, like, in relief. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, well, it wasn't me, it was God, because God just told me to pray, and I was just being obedient, you know? And so then she goes, I want to get rid of all my tarot cards. I want to get rid of all the crystals I have. And so me and the other girl, her name was Sandra, we bagged up 6 bags of her witchcraft, and we threw it away. And after that, and I still talk to her to this day, this was like 4 months ago, she still goes to my church in LA. She was like, she's a bundle full of light now. Like, before that, she was really, like, dark. She was depressed. She had suicidal thoughts, but now it's, like, gone.
So
it's intense.
No. It was great. It's
I like how
fantastic.
passionate you were.
I was gonna say, like,
I
that's
felt
the
like
most
that was
passionate.
No.
That's the most
These
passionate
two-
we've seen you all night.
These two are feeding into
That
my
was
point.
awesome.
Hallelujah.
So I've always been of the belief that I don't really give a shit what you believe, as long as you're passionate, but you're also educated.
Yeah.
Not just following a fad or a trend.
Yeah.
Okay, you are very passionate, but you're also very educated. You actually you reference Matthew, John, Luke, whichever book it might be. You go back to that, and you have you got static legs, bro. You want a gritty real quick?
I hit legs yesterday.
Oh man, I was hoping you would train legs with me tomorrow. I mean, run a train with me. I mean, train legs with me.
Oh my.
Let's call the boys. Let's run a train.
I'll be back.
Okay. So, I love how passionate you are, but I love more how educated you are. I don't give a fuck what anybody believes. If they are educated on it and passionate on it, then I respect it.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with it or not, I'm going to respect and admire it. Because when we talk about it in terms, especially him and I, of sports or music, you can have whatever point you want to have and make whatever point you want to make, but you damn sure better be educated on it. Because if not, I'm going to tear you to pieces.
Yeah, I feel it.
So I don't have anything to counter your argument. I don't have anything to go against the story you just told.
Yeah.
It's very educated. It's very detailed and backed up. And the passion that I sense in your words, and that means more to me than the stories themselves. Because you care so much about what you have seen, experienced, and what you believe. Excuse me, that I have the utmost respect for that. And I think everybody on this couch would agree with that. And the listeners out there, whether you believe what Shyann believes or not, you cannot deny the passion. You can't deny the education. And that, to me, speaks volumes. And I am appreciative of that, to have a guest come on and be vulnerable and be open. Because I feel like we've had some guests on that, not to any fault of their own, but are maybe a little more timid to release some of that inner belief and defend their stances on certain things, whether it's music related or non-music related or religion, politics, whatever it might be. If you were passionate about something, whatever it might be, and you believe in it and you're educated on it, man, that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, even Tyler, I'm sitting over there watching him. This is a dude that, he doesn't really believe in much, but he's sitting there shaking his head going, because he's like, I sense the conviction, I sense the education, I sense the passion. He respects the shit out of that. You know what I mean? Same here.
Tyler.
Same here. Yeah.
I mean, I do, and I'm not a religious person. I have my own kind of beliefs around spirituality and such.
Yeah.
But I have learned a lot from religion as of late.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have. My whole thing is, I try to be, this country was based on religious freedom, right? Not only with taxation without representation, but for religious freedom, right? That's why we left England in the first place.
Yeah.
Was for religious freedom. And so I've always been of the belief of, if you want to be Muslim, be Muslim. You want to be Jewish, be Jewish. You want to be Buddhist, be Buddhist. I don't care. I really don't. Because whatever you believe in, it don't matter what happens what you believe in at the end. Something or someone is going to, we might just black, nothing. Don't know. I don't know. Because I've heard stories from people. I mean, I spent 7 years in the fire service. I've been around a lot of people that died and came back. I've heard there's the pretty white light, there's heaven, there's all this pretty stuff. I've heard there's absolutely nothing. I've heard them both. So I don't know what happens at the end. Don't know. I'll find out one day.
Yeah.
I used to fear death. I don't fear death.
Yeah.
I don't fear death at all. Whatever happens is going to happen. It is what it is. It's 110% completely out of my control, right? I used to be that guy that thought I can control everything. I'm going to control absolutely everything in my life.
Right.
Don't work like that. When you finally realize, hey, I can't stress about the things that I can't control.
Yeah.
You become a more peaceful person. I still struggle with that to this day. I'm getting better, but I still struggle with that to this day, of control what you can control. Focus on your life and what you're doing in your life.
Yeah.
And, I have plenty of moments. I am far from a perfect human being.
Right, same,
Far, far, far. A long motherfucking
perfect.
way away from it. Hey, I mean,
Said,
here it is.
perfect.
I'm fucking perfect.
You are. You're cute, too. Here,
And pure.
Yeah.
Fucking hot as
We
shit.
cannot
said it
stress
5
this
times, I'm
enough
good.
that you are pure
Pure.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Here's Preston. Here's me. Okay, I'm trying to get
He has
to
a
Preston.
wife.
Yeah,
Got the
I mean,
best-
He's great. He's
got the best life.
He's done it all right. So,
I don't know about that,
but
buddy.
I don't know. Never mind. Almost said you used to.
But
His face.
it gets red as his hat, did it?
No, your face.
My face?
Your facial expression was funny.
But I've always been a firm believer in if you have a strong belief in something, you have conviction in something, and you're educated on it, then I respect it. But if you have baseless comments or baseless beliefs, whatever it might be, and you have no evidence to back that up, then I don't respect it. And that's probably why I respect your stories so much, is because you're educated. You have done the research. You have lived what you talk. And to me, that's so important. And I hope that the viewers are able to take a lot of that from this. Like, hey, whatever it is that I'm feeling or I'm experiencing, I can use that for the rest of my life. I can take these experiences and make myself a better person, or not even necessarily that, but just take these experiences and use them for good.
Yeah.
Whatever I believe that good is. So I hope that all the listeners value that as much as I do, and I know that you guys do. You know, especially viewers out there that are maybe having some self-doubt or just some, I don't know what I believe, or I don't know what I feel. You know, you've tried everything. You know, not even just in the sense of religion, but just like life in general. You've really done, you know, you're younger than us, and you've done so much more than we have. And your life experience is fucking unmatchable. I think that's huge for you in the long term. So I am curious today. You know, what's today like for you? What are you doing today? What do you envision for yourself in the future? Like, what are your long term goals? I know you're doing some different things with music now, so if you want to touch on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Updated.
Let's go.
Finally. Oh, Jesus.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. So, okay. I received confirmation through just deep, you know, I pray every day. Like, I read scripture every day. Of course, that's what I feel like I should do. If I don't, I feel kind of off, you know, I start to backslide into my old mindset. So that's how I keep like spiritually motivated and just like feeling joyful instead of like depressed or anxious like I used to. And I mean, plus also I'm not doing the things I used to do either. That's a big difference. But
the devil is always tempting you, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah. For sure. He will come back 7 times more. And I'm sure you've heard that. Yeah. And he does.
But just like when you said, if I don't read this scripture, if I don't do this or I don't do that, then I start to feel myself being pulled back towards those old tendencies. I'm like, hey, that's in the scripture. I remember that.
Period.
I remember that. Okay.
I'll be like, wait, that sin's looking a little too good today.
Hey. I get it. I'm
like, wait.
I get it.
Hold on. Yeah.
Told you we had nice asses.
Y'all do got great
Raise it on
asses.
squad.
Listen, my quads are fantastic. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, I got veins, bro.
Oh, dog. Oh, you got veins, bro? Oh, man, I don't have veins. I just got great definition in my quads. Fine. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I like your cowboy boots.
Thank
cowboy
you.
boots. Yeah. Okay.
I actually wore my halfway decent ones tonight because I wear my fucking work boots every day and they're trashy. So I figured I'd wear my slightly less trashy ones.
I chose to wear socks today.
You did. You didn't wear flip flops and jeans. I was impressed.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a flip flop and jean kind of guy.
I'm usually flip flops. I just
He
got
should have
these
been
from,
born in like 1948 and then been at Woodstock. But
I mean, yeah.
My God, that's the perfect fucking life, I would say.
Shit.
yeah, you get to live through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, bro. It's fantastic.
That would have been amazing.
I would have been doing so much K-pop.
You were sucking up.
Oh man, I'd have done so much fucking K-pop.
We have to at the end. We have to watch a K-pop video
because Tyler hasn't seen it, dude. You got what we are. We're 100%. We're showing
a
him a
girl
K-pop.
group and a guy group.
Yes, 1
You have
million.
to have
I have to listen to 2 of these?
Yeah, you have
just
on
a
the
little
surround
bit.
sound.
You have to
on
see
the
what they
surround
look
sound.
like. That's the part.
Bro, listen, we can before. So you
Let's. All right.
So what I'm gonna do?
I'm stressed already.
No.
it's not that bad. I
I
promise.
feel
It's not that
a
bad.
gray hair growing
No.
in. It's fine.
It's not that bad. You got Viking blood. You're fine.
Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you do.
cool.
She said, "Arg!" like he was a fucking pirate in the Caribbean.
you guys are sailors, so
Not all sailors are pirates, though.
She said, "Arg!"
I do like rum though. Rum is fantastic.
Rum and
She
Coke.
said arg.
No, rum and pineapple juice.
Ooh, rum and pineapple
Oh,
juice
I've
is
never-
really good.
Rum and
That
Mountain
would
Dew
probably
is
be
underrated.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Rum and Mountain
Actually,
Dew.
that was one of the first times I ever got drunk was rum
Wow.
and
Captain Morgan and Mountain Dew.
I don't think it was even Captain Morgan. I think it was like some Bacardi. It was actually decent.
Since you went a whole nother dimension, didn't it, bro?
Oh, bro, we were...
Hello, my
I think
friend,
I was
we
14
meet
and
again.
yeah, man, it didn't take a lot.
We're gonna. She's gonna show you some K-pop. We're gonna show her some Creed.
God,
Okay.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Can't wait to change your life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She said, "Ooh."
I think things
was
like
kinda grossed out, but
things,
kinda
no, like in a good way. It was a
That
good.
sounded really fucking good.
It was,
I'm gonna kill myself.
Hey, Scott Stapp is a very religious man nowadays.
He is.
It's silk shirt and all, bro.
all
Bald
of
hair,
it.
Scott Stapp.
So
Not so
today,
much,
you are where?
yeah. So
still in LA, right?
yeah.
Yep.
So I live in LA now. I'm no longer talking to like a lot of the people that I used to. You know, I really feel like I, you know,
Disassociated
that
from them.
that
Yep.
helped a lot to get out of the lifestyle. But also, I feel like now I'm working on the copywriting course with Andrew Tate actually
Okay.
online to advance my writing because I'm learning how to screenwrite films, and my films are going to be Christian based.
Okay.
But they're not going to be like your typical like, oh, like it's only for like it's for families. Like it's going to have the nitty gritty stuff.
Like Passion of the Christ shit.
Yeah, well, it's gonna have strip clubs. Like it's good because that's what happens. That's what people go through. I mean, there's like, obviously not you guys because you guys are wholesome and God bless you guys. But there
Thank
are
you.
married
We ain't
men
perfect.
We
who
ain't
go
perfect,
to the
but thank
strip
you.
clubs and they have, you know, they have mistresses and they're very heartbroken because their wife isn't sleeping with them, or maybe they're of old age, you know, or even like there's just so much. There's so much that is in the world, and I feel like, you know, I want to make that impact, you know, in Christian films, and not just to make it like always family oriented. Like, yeah, your kids can watch it too, but it needs to be for adults who are struggling spiritually, because, you know, like, I mean, we all struggle with things like, and the truth is, I mean, regardless of what you believe in, Christian or not, Buddhist or not, you're going to go through things, you know? And so definitely I plan to make faith-based films, and I also plan to act in them as well, because I went to like 4 acting schools, so why not?
Right. Sure. Yeah. Why not put that to work? Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then of course I have, it's beautiful because since I've been in LA the past 5.5 years, I have, you know, the connections for it. And so I just have to have a finished product. But before I make them into screenwrites, I'm going to make them into books. So there's numerous stories that the Lord has given me through dreams. Like, I'm a dreamer, so I have dreams that come true. So like God will sometimes give me a dream, and then it's like, that's my next assignment. And so, like, that's just how he speaks to me. He speaks to everyone differently. But that's how he's spoken to me since I was a child. So, well, and then something recently to cap what I said when I was 5 years old about how I wanted to be a missionary.
Bringing
you know?
it full circle. Let's go.
Yeah. A couple months ago, I went on my first mission trip. It was in Hawaii. So I was taking care of children there, and also as a worship leader there. So it was wonderful because it's like everything is coming into fruition, you know, of what I stated as a child. It just, you know, well, I think all of us like, oh, this is so good. This scripture's so good. It's in Luke. It's, he leaves the 99 for the one. So Jesus leaves 99 sheep for the one that gone astray. So he's the shepherd, right? And he takes care of us. But then when one sheep is like, oh, I'm going to go rebel. That's like us, right? He ran out of the pen. He's like, I'm going to be a savage. Like the lamb is running away. And Jesus goes, hold on. I'm going to leave you guys in the pen. I'm going to run after this one. Because he cares about each and every one of us. You know, like, ooh, and then I just got to say this. There's in the last book.
I love your conviction. I really do.
This is so good. Thank you. Revelation 3:20. This is the very
Revelations
last.
is fucking terrifying.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
freaking gosh! I know all the angels like have.
She said, "Oh my freaking
There's so
gosh."
much. There's so much I could say. This is my favorite scripture, and it really spoke to me 7 months ago when I came back to Christ again. He goes, I stand at the door and knock, and whoever opens the door, I shall come in and sup with him. That means he's going to come inside your house, which is your heart, and he's going to eat dinner with you. And the revelation that he gave me from this, Revelation 3:20, is that not only does God, when you open the door, because you have to give him permission, right? He's not like the devil. The devil will he's a snake. He'll try to intrude. But God's a gentleman. He just knocks and waits until you let him into your heart. So then when he comes in, he eats with you. He'll do your dishes. He'll do your laundry. He cleans your whole house. And that's the revelation he gave me, is that he doesn't just eat with you, but he takes care of everything in your house, which is your heart. And so he heals the trauma, he heals the depression, he heals the anxiety. And and he's the only one that can do it. And he's the only one that's been able to do that for me. When I did witchcraft last year, that did not heal me. When I had so much sex, that did not heal me. When I made so much money, that did not heal me. Nothing.
It was all just a Band-Aid.
Yes. Yeah.
You were putting a Band-Aid on a severed artery.
Yeah, and now I feel it. He's healed so much just in 7 months. That's when I gave up everything, was 7 months ago, by the way. So I gave up the stripping, I gave up the prostitution, I gave up everything.
Yeah.
So, and last time and I'm not trying to make you guys feel guilty for drinking, but I just felt convicted of drinking because I turn into a crazy chick when I drink. So if I have one, I'm like, oh,
give me 20.
Yeah. So that's, for me, it's hard to control that. So I just took it out of my life.
But that's very mature of you to realize that it we drink because we can control it. Whether it's drinking or it's smoking weed or whatever it is, if you cannot control yourself when you're on XYZ,
right?
Then you have K-pop. Facts, bro. That's why I don't do K-pop anymore, dog. Even though we're about to do some K-pop after this, but if you cannot control yourself,
2 K-pops, from what I'm told.
Yeah,
5.
2 K-pops. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
And Creed. So I'm gonna
Creed.
But it's very mature of you to realize, hey, I'm not me. You're not you when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers. God, I try to make a serious point, and my fucking dumbass goes, "Hey, squirrel, go this way." So, it's very mature of you to realize, hey, whatever it might be, drinking or whatever, can't do that.
Yeah.
Because it takes me somewhere I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I know I'm not myself when I'm here.
Right.
So if I avoid that, then I can stay zen. And as I've gotten older, I've been the person that's for example, tomorrow night is the party night of the year, right? The night before Thanksgiving.
Shit, it is, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
5 years ago, my ass would have been at the bars.
Right.
But nowadays, and maybe it's because I have a kid now, it might be that. I don't know. But I'm I'm good. I have no desire to be any part of that. That does nothing for me. Getting hammered, that does nothing for me. I feel like fucking shit the next day for 2 days now because I'm old.
Yeah.
But
You mean a week?
Oh, no shit, dude. Facts. But not you as much, but me and Tyler, we used to run the bars, didn't we, bro? Those were some good times. Then we usually cried at the end of the night, but that's
we went through it was about a summer.
We were running the bars.
We was out there
2-3 times a night,
and then
2-3 times a week. We were running them hard.
Yeah, I'd say the weeks I didn't have my kids, we were there Friday and Saturday night.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then maybe, maybe we'd go there for pizza or
pizza
something.
on a Wednesday or something. Yeah.
We was fucking running it for a bit.
We were running them bars. My dad, better not be running them fucking whores. Well, Dad, I'm running them whores. Okay. Eventually, you're like, hey, this is a temporary high. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'd say it's probably definitely having kids.
Yeah.
I think it definitely.
That's
adds
good.
to
It grounds you more.
Because.
Yeah, it makes you take a. Go ahead, Tyler. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I've been lame as fuck for the past couple of years, and part of it is just most of my buddies don't want to go to the bars and stuff anymore, and it's that's cool with me. I'll do whatever, but
yeah.
I don't know with having kids. I want to have my kids tomorrow night. I'm not going to be out fucking partying and shit. And I think I think people just have their priorities fucked up. A lot of people do, and I think I think you can go out and party in moderation and be healthy and it be okay. But
you don't have to.
God, a lot of people, especially when especially when you're in that kind of state of mind where you're, overtaken by intrusive thoughts and whatnot.
In my early 20s, my intrusive thoughts won every time.
Yeah, so
Every
they
time, bro.
take you overboard.
Yep.
That's when it becomes a
Remember that
problem.
feeling you got when you Googled boobs for the first time? It was like that every night. And I'm like, hey.
You're like, you have to do it. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was just done. Your old girl would just, here they are. I'm like, here I am.
Gets the crowd going.
Huh?
Said really gets the crowd going.
Yeah.
I can't even fucking talk tonight. Jesus.
Yeah, and then you have kids, and it's so cliche to say that, oh my God, having kids change your life, but bro, it fucking does, man. It just like pulls you back down to earth, and you're like, everything that I do from now on is all because of you. Like everything that I do is to benefit you.
And they see
my child.
everything and they pay attention.
They watch.
And it's like
everything.
I want to be the perfect role model for you, my son, my daughter, whatever it might be.
That's
Preston's
good.
a girl dad. So and for him, I think it's probably even more so because he's a girl dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, this is my sweet little girl that I'm going to protect and show what a real man should be. And I think it's different for men and women, right? And as a man, it's my job to show my son what it's like to be a man and how to treat a woman and how to do X, Y, and Z. And Tyler's got 2 of them, so it's times 2 for him. So it changes you, man. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so cliche, and I hate to sound cheesy and cliche, but fuck around, having kids changes your life for the better. For me,
Yeah,
at
it
least.
is. It's for the better.
And
Yeah.
it's cool that, like, God, sounds so like kiss ass and all that, but you'll make a hell of a mom someday if you ever decide to make that decision, because
Thank
your
you. I will.
conviction-
Yay.
Yeah, your conviction and passion about how
You're just in tune with yourself.
Yeah,
if that makes
absolutely.
Sense.
You're very-
At
Thank
least
you.
it seems that way. You're in tune with yourself. And
Yeah.
I think that's very important, whether you're going to raise kids or not.
Yeah, I mean, when I found out I was having a kid, I was of the mindset of I don't want to have kids, so I never wanted to have them. And then I have one, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't imagine my life without them. So it just, you never know what's going to happen. But I think,
And you
there's-
guys are in your kids' lives.
yeah,
like,
that's
when you're young, 'cause
seems
that
to be
makes a big
seems to be a
difference.
rare quality these days.
It
but,
is very
yeah.
rare.
Yeah, so.
weird.
But no. But anyways, Shyann, thank you so much for giving us your time. I appreciate you coming on. I know
Thank
that
you.
I know that this wasn't our typical episode, listeners, but if we the definition of insanity is repeating the same process and expecting a different result. So I hope that you've enjoyed a bit of a more personal, in-depth conversation about personal growth and you being in tune with yourself and understanding your experiences and finding something that you're passionate about, educating yourself on that subject, and continuing to have conviction in those beliefs. So whatever you believe out there, listeners, educate yourselves on it. Do your research. Experience different things in life. Don't ever use your life experiences as a crutch, but use them as a springboard, and put yourself into a better position in life. We preach on this podcast all the time about self-love and about understanding where you've came from and where you want to go. And if anything, this episode has been a great example of that. So I hope that you all have gleaned something from this. If you have, drop a like in the feed, W's in the chat, subscribe, like, follow, all of that fun stuff. Hit us up with any questions, recommendations. We appreciate you as always. We
Plug
love
your socials really quick.
Yeah. You want to plug your socials real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Good shout out, Preston. Yeah.
I just thought of it.
Thank you, President. I also forgot to mention that I will be having Christian music with me playing piano
Which is
out
fantastic.
in
by
a
the way.
few months.
Yep. Let's go.
Sweet.
Love
yes,
piano.
so yeah. And then my social is at Shyann is back. So that's SHYANN ISBACK on Instagram. And then my TikTok is Shyann Loves Jesus. And then my YouTube is Shyann Loves Jesus as well.
and she's only got like a couple 100,000 followers, so like let's just
I
You
deleted
badass.
all of my modeling acting content like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Like 7 months ago. And then
we
I
only
now
have
post.
15,000 followers on TikTok, so like we're way behind you because you got like 400K on Instagram, so like
Well, I have had that account for like 6 years, so
Well, I mean, listen, it's still like
I mean, I've had
390
mine
some
for a
days.
long time, and it's got like maybe 50.
Yeah, so give Cheyenne a follow if you would. Give her a like on her socials, subscribe, all that fun stuff. As always, make sure you like and subscribe the Screaming Idiots Show wherever you may be listening. Leave us a comment, leave us a suggestion. YouTube community, keep bashing us for our terrible video quality. Even the YouTube community, we love you. We appreciate you. Got some big news coming next week. And until next time, we are the Screaming Idiots. See you next week.
Peace,
Bye.
love, dove.
Let's go.
K-pop.